Hey, welcome back to Metropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is another Thursday night. Which one, you ask? November 3rd, 2022. Thanks for keeping the bookkeeping honest here. Hopefully you're doing well. We got a stream tonight. We're going to be playing some Stealth Shaper is the plan, really. We have a deck list of the week, which is some good stuff. Anarch. We got a couple announcements. We're going to have actually upcoming streams this weekend and the weekend following. So it's going to be a busy time here. So when you said you had plans tonight, it's the first of the month. This is meant to be a Patrick stream, but I told Patrick that I had to wash my hair, and he was like, really? Thursday night? I'm like, yeah, you know how it's been. I've been a stinky boy. I've been getting complaints about my hair. Sorry, man. No, Pat was feeling a bit under the weather, so we decided to move the Patrick special to probably next week. We haven't pinned down a date, and next week turns out I have to wash my hair, but wish Patrick to feel better if he doesn't feel good right now. I actually got to hang out with, let me try that sentence again. I got to hang out with Patrick last weekend. He made me a dinner. We played some board games. It's quite nice. How's everyone doing? Hey, Cole, hope you're doing well. I am. Hopefully you're doing well too. Hey, XRN, how's it going? Ben Davey, good evening. Giles, how's it going? Macaroni, how you doing? How's Friday over there on that side of the world? Weekend streams? Yeah, we got 2 weekend streams. We'll reiterate this, but they're a bit themed. They're in fact non-standard, non-startup streams. We have this weekend coming up. I will be streaming alongside Yasengrin SC, and we're going to be streaming some Eternal because there's an Eternal event coming up, and Yasengrin's a big Eternal fan. I haven't played a lot of Eternal, and Yasengrin has been putting together Eternal decks. So we're going to be showing them off and just playing against each other Sunday morning, Eastern Standard Time. And so we'll get some Eternal footage. Again, I think Yasengrin's sharing his decks. So if you haven't played Eternal and you want to get in on the Null Signal Eternal event, you can just grab those, and you're kind of good to go. And then the weekend after it, we're going to be showing off Nemec's custom cards, which is like 1,000 cards. These are, again, not null signal things. I'll show you what a couple of them look like, but we'll be playing on Tabletop Simulator. I think Jeff will also be joining for that as well. Currently is what it looks like. Let me catch up on chat. Everyone just showed up. Yo, Alec, how's it going? Hey, friends. How you doing? Missed my weekly in-person Netrunner for the first time in months. Pretty sad, but hyped to catch a stream. Sorry to hear that. In months is a really good sentence, though. I'm glad that you're having that meetup. Hey, Frisbee, how's it going? Board games? Yeah, we played. What did we play? We played with Patrick. This was all his stuff. We played Super Pinball, whatever that roll and write is called, the Star Trek version, which I don't know anything about Star Trek besides tribbles and the fact that that one guy sits on chairs real funny. I feel like that comment is not going to sit well with the community here, but I don't know. I don't like space. I think space is boring. And it was fun enough. It's like basically a solo game that someone else is doing across the table, but people are pretty okay with that when it comes to roll and writes. And we played Patrick's new version, the essential like deluxe edition of Castles of Mad King Ludwig, which is a game that stresses me out. And then we played what's it called, Targi with expansion, which has always been on my like want to play list. It was really fun to actually get that. I've been solid. YouTube handles proved to be a disappointment. Its channel URLs take 3. Yeah, I don't know what that is. They said like YouTube handles is a thing. YouTube also looks different now, but I couldn't understand what the handles were. I watched the Do You Want to Know video, and I opened it. It was like 15 minutes, and I felt like maybe I shouldn't use my mobile data like that. And here we are. Ignorance is bliss. What's your favorite board game? Not counting cards, games like Netrunner, Horror, Arkham LCG. Staniak, how's it going? That's a really difficult question. And to answer that, I'm going to have to open the list of all the board games I own. That's not like a card game. All right, we'll go to all games, and I'll give you a quick list. Awesome Intelligence, how's it going as well? I don't know what's going to be my favorite board games. I'll just tell you some standout ones. I'm just like a real big sucker for Agricola. I'm not very good at Agricola. There's so much Agricola content I haven't experienced. I just love subsistence farming. It just kind of gets me. I don't know what. Ark Nova has been a real big hit around here. I think Ark Nova is pretty fantastic. The main mechanic in Ark Nova is phenomenal. Crokinole, if you count that. Game slaps. Favorite, though. That's like a high. Like, there's a lot of good games. I'm a big fan of Great Western Trail. It's pretty good. I want to play more Hansa Teutonica. Enjoyed that when I had time to play it. What else are we liking? I've been playing a lot of Marvel Champions. I hope that's obvious on this stream. If you want to talk about Marvel Champions, we can. The Quest for El Dorado we've been playing recently has been really fun. Res Arcana is like one of my favorites, but it's not the game that I think people want it to be, but I really enjoy it. Santorini kind of slaps too, as an abstract. We're getting to the bottom. If this is not obvious as an alphabetical. Too Many Bones, I'm a big sucker for that. And we hit the bottom of the list. So hopefully that gives you an idea. I was really hoping it'd be like most modern handles and not require uniqueness. I printed a while back. Cool stuff. The Star Trek combo is fine. Space is boring. Is to front. Yeah, Nemec is releasing like 1,000 cards, so it's a set. It is technically like it registers the existence of like null signal cards. So like there's some, I saw some mark mechanics. I haven't looked through all the cards yet. I've looked through very, very few, but it's meant to be more like a standalone thing if you want to like just print them out because he'll be providing the files. I managed to some top Swiss out of CO. Super happy. Oh, no way. Alec, what were you playing? Hey, Cror, how's it going? What's your favorite non-Netrunner Android board game that takes place in a mainframe? Oh, Janktivist, I was thinking about this today. I think it would be New Angeles. I have a very embarrassing copy of, what's it called? Android mainframe. Very embarrassing because it was lent to me by Benoit as like just kind of a tester copy when Benoit was affiliated with the Randolph Boutique. So it was like their version and I had it and I didn't really like mainframe. I thought I was going to make some content about it on this channel, but it turns out I really wasn't about it. And so I still own it to this date and I haven't returned it. And so like, I'm not going to return it to the store. It's not like a game anybody wants, but like I'm embarrassed because it's like 6 years later. So I just have a copy and I can't get rid of it because it's not mine. So yeah, I got a mainframe shame, as Pat says. Every once in a while I pick it up and be like, oh yeah, this is an abstract 2-player game, which is like not a huge success around these houses. My partner doesn't like him. Brass is always on top. Yo, we have Brass Birmingham and we've played like 2 or 3 games of it. And I feel like that game it's kind of like, there's certain games like that I reckon the engines within them, the rule set within them make a very interesting game. It's just, they're very difficult to grok. Right? Like this learning curve into which you internalize the rules and can start thinking about it without having to be like, wait, but how does coal get from here to here? Like we've never hit that because we played it too few times, too far apart. It was on our 10x10, Maddie and my 10x10 last year. We never got to 10 games. And I think both of us realized it's probably a way better game than the amount of time we put into it. It's just like, again, the rule set is kind of terse and a bit like oblique. Like it's just not, it's hard to internalize it. And I feel like that's holding us out. You better not diss it. Yo, Jeff, how's it going? I recognize that it's like a really, really good game. It's just, I've never been able to get the rule set to a point where I'm thinking within the system as opposed to thinking about the system. And so like, we're not flying. We're still like learning to walk and I need to figure it out. Province Smoke. Oh, cool. Yeah. Awesome. We're gonna play some Smoke today. Oh, Janktivist, I wanted to talk about Arkham for a while now. Runic Axe, 10 out of 10. I've started dipping my toe back into standard after months of startup only. I decided to come back with Apex because I guess I hate myself. Yeah, Litterbug, that can't be a good way to start. But if you want to play standard, you have like a couple months left of Apex. But let me tell you, yeah, you're choosing a hard fight to fight. And I respect that. I just think maybe there'll be more to do in standard. I don't know, man. Apex is so rough out there. A Cactus. Hey, great catch the stream. Jamara, welcome. How's it going? Giles, what's that link? I'm not going to just open that link. I was legit going to ask about Runic Axe when you brought it up last stream. I looked it up and didn't get it. Then I realized there was a whole customizable mechanic that I don't know about. Yeah, so customizable. Okay, hold on. Real quick. This is my Runic Axe take. Sorry if you're not into Arkham. Arkham Horror is an LCG. It's like Netrunner, but it's a cooperative thing where you play against, not each other, but the campaign. I'm pretty sure that Arkham PvP works and it'll be really, really, really fun. Oh, you have a copy of Infiltration? Frank, Infiltration is the one game that I played one game of. It came out in 2012, the same time as Netrunner, and I would love to get a copy again because the one game of it I played, which was during a Netrunner regional while we were IDing like total schmucks, it was really fun. Anyways, the idea with Arkham, this is a cool idea. In Arkham, one of the big rewards you get for doing well in scenarios is you get experience. And then there's cards that you can spend experience and then add them to your deck. And they're generally more interesting, more powerful versions. In the newest set or the newest cycle that just came out called the Scarlet Keys, there's these cards called customizable. And this is basically like, you can think about it as like Gloomhaven. So they're cards that you can go out of their way to customize in the way that you'd like them to. So you can spend XP to check in one of these boxes. And then this card, and all copies of this card in your deck, you can have only 2 of a single playset of a card in Arkham, gets different. And this Runic Axe, which at 0 XP, just vanilla, is actually pretty not great. But as soon as you upgrade it, let me tell you, the flexibility of this card has been immense. To be able to move while fighting, so you can pick up multiple people on the way, AoE damage, healing, while also getting an immense amount of charges. I think I did Script Weaver. I definitely did Script Weaver, Saga, Fury, Hunt, and Glory. because I didn't need the clue things because I'm with two people who are doing clues. I'm playing Lily Chen, and let me tell you, this has been like just like ridiculous turns. Like pick up somebody, move while fighting, do AoE at the same time, heal. Oh man, it's been really good. Runic Axe, like I think this was better than spending the same amount of XP on 2 copies of the Cyclopean Hammer, even before the taboo list. Which investigator are you using it with Axe? Lily Chen, yeah. The new Lily Chen. I haven't played yet because we got the new cards before the new set came out, which has 6 new investigators, if I'm not mistaken. I'm playing in a different campaign, Kamani, and enjoying Kamani a lot, but you wouldn't play that on Kamani. You can't. Just love subsistence farming. I don't know. Agricola's really fun. Like you're just holding on, and like it feels so good when you just hold on. Burm is a good game, but I agree on most of your early thinking is figuring out what options you actually have before it becomes natural. Yeah, Thanos. I think we're on the same page there. I have no doubt it's a brilliant game. It just I'm still trying to figure out how like basic stuff works. It's a funny compilation of people talking about mainframes and films. Oh, cool. Okay. Top 8 at the store championship with Apex. It can be done. D-Line, how's it going? Do you have a list? When was that? Store champs? I guess that could be this year. Flip, I think it's wild that the new doctor dude can pick up the Runic Axe and max it out if he picks up the option that lets it heal. Yeah, there's some really cool things where like you can add customized cards to lists once the customizable version like works. So there's an investigator who can only take, or not only, but she's allowed access to every single type of relic, and you can make the axe a relic, I think. So eventually she can take it. Or somebody, as long as it can heal damage or horror, I guess you can't take it in Jacqueline. Is it called Jacqueline? No, Carolyn, because it's a weapon, but you can take weapons. But yeah, it's really cool how the customizables sometimes sneak in. I like the axe as a mid-tier weapon. It doesn't seem like it matches up well to the raw power of the big 4 or 5. Yeah, power guides. I thought that, and I'm surprised to figure that's not been the case so far. I do think a big part of it is you have to play upgraded Vicious Blow, which you probably want to do anyways. And if you play Enchant Weapon, it gets even further. And I think this is a really good card in Lily. Is that? No, yeah, there's just too many enchants. And this makes it a lot more consistent to do like way more damage. But I was feeling that before. I thought it wasn't good enough, but I'm not running out of charges, and it's just doing better than the Cyclopean Hammer. Admittedly, the hammer can do like, what is it, 7 damage max a turn? You can still do the same with the other thing too. Yeah, I don't know. I've been surprised too. I was in the same camp as you. I'd recommend trying it out. Okay. I like playing Bolas and Forgotten Age against the snakes. Yo, Flip, try playing Kamani. But I hear you. Bolas is really good too. Kamani is going to be just as good. And I'm such a big fan of upgraded. I'm a huge fan of handcuffs, and now they made handcuffs really, really, really good. Because they got no legs, you can still bolo a snake, I reckon. You just got to throw it hard enough. They get all tangled up. Okay, so a rat king is the idea that a bunch of rats get together and then their tails get tied up and tangled in the tangle or in the dirt in the mess, and then they can't function as rats. And then unfortunately, they end up as a mass, not surviving. Is it the same with snakes? Do we get snake kings where like all the snakes get tangled up and then the ball of snakes ceases to function because it becomes like a push me pull you? Because that's how I imagine Ebola interacts with the snake. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but there's some sort of vote between Rotage or Swifty. If you want me to weigh in on where I think you should vote, I don't know. I don't know Swifty very well. I've met Rotage. Rotage is a really nice fella, and I liked Rotage's deck building for like the last, feels like 7 years or whatever. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think you shouldn't vote for Swifty. I don't know what we're voting about. But this is just a good stuff Anarch deck. This is like Hoshipko. If you ask me how different this is from the version that Bridgman played at Euro Africas and won, I couldn't tell you. I think 3 pinhole threading is more than was back then. I feel like some of these lists are running Deuces Wild, but maybe I'm just thinking of the Freedom lists. And the idea is that this is just a good stuff list. 46 cards, it's a bit too much. But we have just about everything. Speaking about this, youtube.com/YesSangrenSC. YesSangren recently put out this really good video where he goes through with the what's it called, the folks at Snare Bears to talk about the Freedom deck, which is like a very similar deck in the way that it looks. It's an Anarch deck with Endurance, but instead of getting the free card draw with Hoshipko, we're going for the Disruption of Freedom. And yo, real talk, I'm gonna toot my own horn. This is the deck archetype that I called to win Worlds, and turns out Snare Bears were also testing it, and so I looked pretty smart. This is a really cool video. I'd recommend watching it, even if you're not specifically like a standard player, because Jeff did a really good job showing cards on screen when they're relevant. So I think it's fantastic. So it's actually really easy to follow, but it's a really good conversation. You hear from all the nice folks at the Snare Bears talking about how they put this deck together, because it's actually like a really weird deck the more that you look at it. The amount of 1-ofs and 2-ofs is like kind of unique. Trying to figure out what the last 5 slots in the deck are pretty interesting, but these are similar decks. This one does function a bit different because it does have Freedom's pressure, and central runs are a bit more valuable inherently, at least for free. For Hoshipko, you want to get those runs and you want to get flipped. You always vote for Dave. I think we're on the same page. Was some time ago, certainly not standard legal, but back together for Eternal Play, Ran Faust, Brain Cage, heavy on Wastelands, Hunting Grounds, plus Endless Hunger. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the big things about Faust back in the day. Like Quetzal was like winning tournaments, but yeah, I hear you. Is Swifty the people's champion? I don't know. I feel like Swifty might be. I've never actually known much about the Swifty lore, but I'm pretty sure I've only identified Swifty by Swifty's playmats, which are pretty obvious. I think they all have Taylor Swift on it. I think that's how it works. The video by Usengan was really good, but the way over my head as a standard spectator. It's like, it's why I really like content like this. It's like, it's twofold, right? So firstly, being able to like sit down and hear what some of the, the best competitive players are thinking about the game and the way they analyze the game, I think is pretty important. Secondly, I've never seen this full art of Fermenter. Thirdly, I think I'm just going back to point one. It's just like having this sort of accessible, just the accessibility to understand like what top players are thinking, how they analyze the metas. Like some of that might go over your head. It's not like they're explaining to you how to play it or anything like that. To some macro level they are, but it's really cool. It's just like this game, and I don't know, I feel like other games have it too, but I don't know how common that is for like some of the top players to come down and be like, here's my hand of cards. This is how we thought about it. This is how we built it. I don't know. I like it. And I just think like if you're a newer player trying to get into the game and try to play competitively in standard, this is like the sort of indispensable building block to that, which I think is fantastic. Have you seen Yakuza's new Fermenter alt art? No, I don't think I have. I've seen very few Yakuza arts that are not like the acrylics, right? Like I know the Tapworm. That's it. I think there's a huge list of cards that could use alt arts, and Fermenter is, oh, we shouldn't be here yet, but Fermenter is definitely a good one. 3x Fermenter was a big part of the Freedom deck. I think the economy in Fermenter is fantastic. This one's on 2x. Fermenter does get extra value when it comes to the decks with Freedom, because Freedom can just use those counters to do Freedom things. But this is a pretty similar list. Idea, again, if we're talking about standard, we have all these breakers that we can install from our heap, so we want to discard them. We're not playing 0 in this list. Maybe you don't need to with Hoshipko. I think 0 is still quite a powerful card. We have 3 pinhole threading because it is a good card. Eric Keelback, eat it. And then we have all the good events that we have. We have a bit of card draw built in. In terms of tech cards, we have the Citadel Sanctuary. DreamNet is just like straight up busted in Hoshipko. Just so much value to keep running. Liberated Accounts was called out in the last video, and I've agreed with this. I found this card to be a bit too slow, and they actually called it a tech card in that last video, which I think is pretty fascinating. But this is just a bit too slow of an economy card. A lot of times you won't need it or install it. We have 2 of them here. But in some of the longer matchups, this more value-oriented matchups, or not value, but sorry, value, not tempo-oriented matchups, this can do some work. And then we have 3 Stargate. That's a lot of Stargates. A lot of times you're seeing multiple copies of Stargate show up as a reaction to like Sports Metal, where you just want central pressure very quickly, let alone this sort of central pressure, which is more disruptive, something that Freedom inherently has built in. So maybe you don't need to go for 3 Stargates, 2 is enough. And this one doesn't have Gachapon, but we have card draw, so pretty good. External, would you prefer 15-minute videos? Hold on. I'm used to like 15-minute deck techs, and this was astoundingly thorough, though. To be, I feel like as a new player is too much. Feels like it's very much for the already in franchise, but most people like video essays more than me for sure. Yeah, I hear you with that. It's not so much like a deck tech of how to play the deck. Like we've been doing deck dives on this channel. It's more explaining every single card and what it does. I think the video from the Snare Bears is more of like a how to look at the meta, how to build things for a competitive thing. So I think there's a difference. That's also the thing I'm worrying about on my channel when it comes to the videos I'm putting out. I'm editing a startup video for Monday, and it's actually turned out to be a really good video. It's a really funny archetype that I've heard works, and I tried it out and it does work. But I'm also like not sure how long videos should be. Because the videos, the deck dives, I think the first one I put out was like 45 minutes, and now they're consistently like an hour and a bit, like an hour and a half, something like that. And so like, I don't know what to do. Is the intro too long? Are the games too long? Would it be better to do more shorter videos? I don't know. I'm not trying to win the YouTube algorithm because I'm not monetized that anyway. So I just want to know like what makes more sense for viewers. Right now I'm trying to do like a video a week, and they're like an hour plus. So with the stream, that's a lot of content. It's just, is it quality? No, I'm kidding. But I don't know what makes more sense. If I was trying to win YouTube, I think I'd want to do more stuff shorter. Shorter, what is this heresy? But that's the thing, Macaroni. I don't know what to look at to see like the numbers of people are watching it. If people are jumping the deck dives, I can look at the stats. I haven't looked at them yet. On top of that, I think I really need to redo the endings, because right now the endings of the videos are me reading the names of all the nice folks from Patreon, and not all of them, just like the Sure Gamble and higher tiers. And I feel like people probably just tune the heck out of that. So I wonder if I should just change that a bit, because I feel like that's just unfortunately not watchable content, and I feel like that's better. The longer the better. Okay, that's good to know. That's a fermenter. Thank you, Jazz. I will open an immigrant link without testing it. Starting to wonder if Deja Vu could return to the standard card pool, or perhaps a Deja Vu retrieval run remake. I don't know if we need to, D-Line. Deja Vu was technically a pretty poisonous card. And I think you've seen so far, like the null signal folks, like banning archive memories shows you that they don't want simple single recursion. Recursion cards like that are just inherently either unplayable or super playable once there's a certain card that's so busted that it's worth replaying it over and over again. The return to virus clauses, like that's going to be annoying if you're already annoyed with Botulis. You already have ways to do that. You do have a retrieval run. You can play buffer drive if you really want to, but I feel like buffer drive is a safer amount of power level of recursion card at least. So I really doubt it. Hey, Jason, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Whoa, that's funny. It's a red orb. That's actually really funny. UK Nationals 2022. Cool. What is UK Nationals? That's like really soon, isn't it? That's really funny. Hey, Leonard. Had the privilege paying to me. Patrick's a shuck. Ooh, shucks. Yeah, I see. I like what you did there. And we totally nerded out. So great to be back in the chat on this lovely Thursday night. Yo, Leonard, this was meant to be a Pat stream, but maybe next week. Thanks for saying hi. How was shucks on your side? Besides the Pat thing, which I'm sorry. I've liked when content creators have front-loaded their reading Patreon supporters, but only like 5 or 10 each video. I don't think I've ever seen that. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I might not read every name and might just say like somebody who's new or shout out some people or something, but I'd rather use the ending to do more like call to actions, talk about the feature, something like that. Something that's actually like worth watching, unfortunately. That's what I'm going to call the Patreon read. It's a bad look, maybe. I don't know. Generic Hoshipko. It was wonderful. Hey. Lenny, hi. Doing all right. Wondering what to take to nationals. Which nationals is it? I think there's like a breadth. Breadth and dearth are antonyms, right? I think there's a lot of options right now. I think just about everything that works at Worlds still works. I don't think anyone's teching for that Ag Infusion deck if you want to like go to time or whatever. But I think just about everything there works. I still think the Freedom, I do think that the Freedom deck is better than this Hoshipko deck. I think it's a slightly trickier to pilot, especially because it has a lot of one-ofs. You have to kind of like manage your deck a bit better, I think. But I don't know. I think there's a lot. If I was to play, I would figure out how to play Freedom, and I'd figure out how to play Op. I'd probably play Bridgman Op unless I'm expecting a lot of Freedom. And then I would play, I don't know, the Blum version is like kind of a bit like you saw that it can struggle sometimes into Freedoms. I'm kind of enjoying the Serta Yusengren version a bit more. Just talk about what your Patreon offers and remind folks that's there for them to join. Yeah, that's true. I have nightmares of when you called to me in the free play hall and I got confused. Oh, it's UK. Okay. Brav. Hey. Best of luck. I've found Prov to be like the most prevalent Corp ID in JNet casual lobbies. I like to watch 1 to 2 matches and the other 1 to 2 in the other part of the day. With time lapse, you know how long you need to watch one whole game. Oh, that's true with the timestamps. Yeah, I see what you mean. This case, maybe the deck didn't spark my interest, that condensing it down would make it worse for the people who are wanting to kind of detail. I also wondered that too. Like, how often do people look at the title of the deck dives and be like, oh, I don't care, it's a Baba Yaga deck, I'm out. Oh, cheers. That's very kind. I thought this was a startup list. The Hoshipko list. Whoa, how close is it to startup list? It honestly probably could be. Opening hand's like, okay. We have Steelskin, which we can't really get more value from this deck unless we moshing it. We have an early Fermenter, which is good. We have the Stargate, which like, I don't know if we want to jam it turn 1. I'm kind of at that point where I'd consider it. This is probably okay. Paladin Puemlo is probably a good opening. We have no access to breakers. I don't know how fast they're going to be. Endurance is the one thing like opening hand would be worth doing. I do check for deck types and filter if I'm going to watch them or not. Cole, what sort of stuff are you interested in? This is where I'm really terrified, right? Because while Magnet isn't meta, like if this is just a Crypto Crash turn 1, like how bad is it? Do we just Stargate turn 1? I think we might Stargate turn 1. This is wrong. I always tell people not to Stargate turn 1. It would be really bad if that's Rashida. I'm going to respect that. All right, we have the Puemu, and then we can get the Fermenter down. Strong enough. Daily cast actually might be better. There's a Rashida. Okay, I'm glad we did not Stargate turn 1. I always think there's like a Vig or Scion. It's not such a big deal and always kills me. I don't think I've been Scioned yet hard. Vig is like so underwhelming that I don't care. Hey, Kat, I'm doing well. How are you doing? How's your week been? We got a lot of streams this weekend. And next weekend too, so it's going to be busy. We should have a video on a Monday. In the times where you change the list a bit mid-video, I think instead of calling it out at the beginning, maybe talking about why you made the changes after you show the matches that caused you to want to make those changes, but overall they're great. Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. That makes the editing a bit harder for me, I'll be honest. Why are they icing up everything? Do you not want probability? I guess they don't want Hoshipko ability, that tracks. Yeah, I do feel like every once in a while there's a video where I forget to show. Like, I know there's one deck where we played Adam and suddenly had inside jobs in it, and I like never mentioned it because I forgot we made that change. All right, Borealis is how we run the remote server. We're just gonna keep setting up. MK Ultra deals with Turnpike or Vasilisa. Neither of those are like exceptional. We can drop once more and just install the daily cast, and then we'll throw out our one breaker. But yeah, we're not getting accesses again. Some of their ice is like really, really hard to deal with unless we endurance it and then trash it. But we can consider running this remote server. Abachos will probably get us through most stuff. Okay, 6 credits, not a lot. We do have a no free lunch. I just don't know how mean this deck is. Like, the worst case scenario, in theory, this could be a prison deck with some sort of Drago in it. We don't have a lot of money. A virus could be pretty bad here. I don't know if we crack the fermenter first. I'm going to try not to. And this is where you see double Stargate or triple Stargate being like an ugly draw in the Borealis game. That's a mess to Chesso, right? Yeah, okay. So we're going to lose 3 credits. Oh, hold on. We'll break. Oops. Whoops. Did that bad. Yeah, we're going to run that. We're going to break it. I didn't break. I hit the go. So like, I don't know. Prob plays like a trap deck. So now we're going to have like hard-hitting news type money. So we might have to crack the fermenter. Again, a virus here would be a huge blowout. They can advance something. Urtica would be a problem. Rashida, we'll take that down. We're going to get a card and 2 credits next turn. They didn't advance this. So I kind of want to see what this is. I think we probably have to hit this fermenter. Otherwise, a hard-hitting news is like really, really bad for us. It's either hit that or play the no free lunch. I just don't know what this would be on the table. Probably a spin doctor. It's reversed accounts. Okay, it's cheaper to trash that. I need this breakers, which you play from archives and startup. Hopefully they will add it someday. I don't know if they ever will. It's like the only breakers Anarch sees, and interestingly enough, they rotate really soon. The next standard rotation, which isn't Parhelion, it's the set after, these will rotate. And at that point, nobody really knows what Anarch breakers are going to look like. Double advance. Okay, NGO could just be a Bologna. For Bologna, again, we have to lose 6 credits. So it's a pretty safe Bologna. I think we can moshing most of this hand. Now, if it's an NGO front, they'll be able to res R&D, but I feel so much less powerful than Freedom here, where I'd love to run HQ. I hate drawing with moshing. I think we moshing the Stargates. We draw once, then we'll mosh. Can't mosh a hippo. How do you mosh? Did you just run last click? Yeah, it's totally fine. Like, we take a tag, whatever. It's not the worst. I don't really like the bin breakers. I hear it. I think there's other ways to make bin breakers interesting, like cards that interact with the heap. I think I've seen a couple in the dynamic set that like, I don't know if we can mosh this hand. Hippo's like way too valuable against this sort of ice. If next turn we can always like trash this mess of chest whip, they score out a Bologna, which is like, okay. I do think we can just get down the fermenter, the no free lunch. We can draw once more. Okay, well now we're moshing away some amount of Stargates, I reckon. This deals with Drago. I think the game would be better without the bin breakers. Paperclip at least. Yeah, it was a Bologna. We couldn't have stolen that. Though breakers are resilient to damage or cool design space. Yeah, Paperclip's really good. It's weird. It's like the best of all worlds. All right, we want to draw once to moshing away everything else besides. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Citadel is like reasonable. We have a Paperclip in the bin. Again, we can hippo this. I don't know if we want to do it this turn. They'll get an advancement. We won't access a card, so we won't flip. We need to get our endurance sooner than later. So I think we want to draw once at least, and then we can get the cast down. We're going to keep the paperclip in hand, which is a bit ugly. We don't want to show that we have this, because ideally they jam in the remote server next turn. There's literally a podcast about how bad running last click was. No, it was just their name. I don't know if they actually were serious about that. But running last click in certain factions is bad. Like in Jinteki, it's not something you want to do. In this deck, it's fine. Barring like Scion. All right, let's go. So we'll hippo this. Run last click was really good. It was one of my favorite back in the day. Terminal 7 was really good too. All right. Server down. This could be anything. Again, they're running traps. Just an NGO front. Okay. So we didn't access anything, so we can just go check server 3. They're playing reversed. They also didn't get their advancement yet, so this could be an Urtica. It's just a spin doctor. Here we have some interest in running HQ. If they let us access this, they're not going to. You want a game? Cat, at some point, yeah. Dead Channel was great too. I don't know if I know what Dead Channel is. All right, well, we didn't access. They didn't get an advancement though, so who's laughing now? We want to find our endurance a year ago. How much did the NGO? They only gained 5 on the NGO front. NGO front's like really awkward sometimes. Not always with Prov though, because you can't get the advancement on it because they lose it. Double ice, we're assuming there's endless Eulas. I think here we want to run HQ. Again, a Fermenter Purge would be pretty bad. We didn't access card. We'll just run HQ. We can install the paperclip first. If we hit on a cat, oh, it's a data ward. Whoa. This doesn't do anything. We go through this for 3 credits. Why is there data ward in the deck? Is there Funhouse? This actually doesn't do anything. If we're tagged, it's a nightmare. If they put a Funhouse in front of there, it's a nightmare. Oh, Red Planet. Oh, wild. Okay. So we played against Izzy last week, who's running Red Planet. So a lot of Beals. They advanced a card on R&D. So Meston Chesto is what, 5 to res? They shuffled it back. So this could be an Aket. I was joking. Oh, yeah, no, I just... Yeah, there are some times where it's actually quite bad. Okay, so we want to get our paperclip in the bin. Getting our Dream Net down next turn would be pretty good. Okay. Well, if we drew first, we could have planned that out a bit better. I think we can draw once again. And I think we just play the gamble here. We're going to need a big amount of burst economy. Ideally, we never touch a fermenter until we need to, and we'll throw the paperclip out. But now we can do endurance, run HQ for 3 credits. All right, they're going to shuffle away agendas. Beal and Headline now went back into R&D. They gained 2 credits. Now they're up at 10 credits. So here we just throw the boat and run R&D probably. Oh, we have a Hippo too. So we can do like endurance Hippo and then just like tunnel R&D. And ideally, we got a Stargate down after we trash this. We're hoping it's a message chest, so yeah, it is. Okay. At least I'll get some value from that. So second Meston Chesto, we're going to boat through it. I wonder if we can just ignore R&D, or sorry, ignore server 4. Let's see, they probably advance server 4. That's scary if they do. It's a spin doctor. Will we trash that? Yeah, we're going to drop Stargate. We're going to trash that. Unfortunately, oh, we should have got the Dream Net down first. I'm not a very smart man. Awkward. We can go back for a card. Tomorrow's Headline's a bit bad. We don't have a lot of credits. That's likely to be a Rashida. They didn't advance anything? Oh, so we're pinhole threading Rashida for sure. We might get hard-hitting news here, actually. But this is a Rashida if I've ever seen one. Oh. Oh. It's a Regolith. Okay, that was the worst case. I wasn't expecting that. That's 3 to trash the Regolith. So that's the click. So I think here we're going to get hard-hitting news really bad. No, not even. Okay. Well, pinhole threading down. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So we can install this for 2. We probably just crack the fermenter, do sure gamble. We probably can't Dream Net. But we just need a Stargate to control the game. Yeah, we Dream Net here. Yeah, why not? It's good you didn't play Dream Net because of Bologna's. I don't know if we would have stolen a Bologna there, but I know what you mean. They have no advanceable ice, it seems, so I don't mind this. Headline. Hedge Fund Eula. If they get a Eula on the table, we're a bit upset. So I guess it's like we can leave them with the Headline. It's cheaper to run HQ than anywhere else. So I think we're gonna get rid of the Eula, right? Like we lose to ice. They don't think they have ice on our in hand, considering they didn't ice up last turn. Oh, attitude is gonna fix it. Maybe they'll put the agenda back. Headline and Beal. Okay, so that's all back in R&D, and they just drew 2 unknown cards, so definitely nice. We do have boat counters. They have 17 credits. I think we can just sure gamble, run R&D. Again, Eula is the bad one. Do we not? Excuse me. It's a Master Chess was all day. It's a taxing ice. It's good. That's the third one. Okay, I think this card's underplayed. Obviously you need the free advancements. NGO front. Okay, we don't care. Special report. That's the last. Why is that there? Rashida? I don't know what you want. I don't care about the NGO front that much. Special report's probably the weirdest one. We haven't flipped yet. I don't want to run HQ because they special reported away so many cards that I don't think they have agendas in there. Liberated will probably install next turn. I don't think they're on hard-hitting news. We would have got the book like a year ago. Okay. And next turn we can always like dirty laundry HQ. We want to be able to get our stuff. They drew into what? An NGO front? Which if they advance it here, it looks like an NGO front. It might just be an agenda. You think it's an NGO front? You think they're bluffing here? I think there's a big chance that's an NGO front. But I also think there's a big chance that they're calling us. So like we could pinhole threading archives. It's pretty ugly. I think we dirty laundry. Don't think I've seen that on standard deck before. I've seen special reports specifically in Jinja decks or like really cheesy re-education decks that like need the re-education neurospike combo. So we know one card on top of R&D. I think that's the NGO front. I'd be so surprised if it was an agenda. They'd have to be really flooded. So running HQ is not very good. I think if anything, we'd have to Stargate here. Hey, Maria, it's live. Let's tune in and see what wild exotic decks he's playing today. This deck was a week, but not always true. Are we have a Mad Dash that lines up really well? Yeah, if I don't run, it's an awkward NGO. I think we're going to just set up with money. We have our one Mad Dash. Hunting Grounds would be pretty good. We could just install Liberated, take money off Liberated. The problem is like, what are we using our money for? We don't have access to an orchestra first. We need an orchestra. Yeah, not great. Ooh. All right. I guess. We are flipped. They have infinite money. I'm pretty sure it's an NGO front. If it's an agenda, they'd have to seamless it. Unless it's a 3-2, which I don't think it is. Yeah, it's an NGO front, right? I include that in my corp starter because it feels like the fairest HQ management. It's like not bad. So this is the Rashida that they drew. So we'll run server 5. Then we'll Stargate. Oh, it's a Spin Doctor. Okay, we want to get that off the table before we So Spin Doctor and Master Chess. Okay, now we can Stargate. But I'm pretty sure that's the NGO front. I'd be really surprised if it's anything else. We're gonna lose 3 credits. We'll break through this. We're running out of bow counters really fast. Are you the second streamer to pronounce my handle correctly? I don't know. I've been saying Mechad the whole time, but I was hoping that's correct. Is it? In a decade? Okay, last Spin Doctor or Beal. So this is really interesting. We can't run through this again. So there's a chance that we just go for the Beal and we could, I don't think we have to Mad Dash it. They have a Spin Doctor coming up. I don't think we have to Mad Dash it. The only thing we can't break on archives is Code Gates, which we'd expect Magnet. We'd expect maybe an Enigma, maybe a Toll Booth. But it would be more mess than Chess was. I think we've seen most of them though. So I think they can have that. I'm not going to Mad Dash this one. I'm going to try and Mad Dash for the win. You think it's the Spin Doctor there? Oh, this thing also doesn't do anything. Why are they playing this? Like, this doesn't do anything. It's a 3 credit break that cost them 6. Unless, like, we're going to end up being super tagged by, what's it called? I didn't want to go for the Spin Doctor because I'm pretty sure if they draw the Beal, they'll put it somewhere. Like, we can't run this, which is, you know, obviously a problem. Okay, so here, what can we do? We need to draw into our Black Orchestra sooner than later. In our hand, I don't know if we need the Citadel Sanctuary. It helps if we take a tag, but yeah, I'll throw out the Sanctuary, I think. It's like comparable to the No Free Lunch. Various meaning is not something you jam into your deck and has cost. Currently play rate is 54%. The other option considers Sprint, but it's much less accessible. I think Sprint's amazing. Yeah, it was a... Oh, it was reversed accounts. Okay, so they have an NGO in hand and Rashid in hand and whatever this is. What do you think that is? Critium? We have very little money. We can install something for free. In fact, we definitely want to install something. We'll get a Black Orchestra down for free if we can. That's not good. We can Borealis this. It helps. It's not amazing, but we have to install something here or we trash one of our installed cards. In theory, we could just like blind Borealis. I think the deck's only on 2 Borealis and we have no recursion. Borealising the Mesa Chest was like medium okay. They have a Spin Doctor coming up. They just drew, so they have 2 NGO fronts in hand and a Rashid, if I'm not mistaken. So we know most of their hand. Like, do we just cycle Dream Nets? Borealis is pretty good on this OC. Cror, what do you mean? Like, we could just blind it on the remote. I think that might be fine. Just like throw it out there. We just haven't rezzed anything, so I don't love it. Oh, no, but we installed for free with Paladin, right? We just do this. So we're going to throw out some cards here. I don't know if we need all the pinholes in the world. The second Dream Net's not going to get played. So 0 crits, so can't lose. Okay, so I think these are NGO fronts. I don't think agendas have snuck through. The problem is that we have to go through R&D and clear it out. Like, we just have to clear out R&D. We haven't got our Hoshipko draw in a minute. If we want to get a bow counter, it's 3 credits. So we can just like Dirty Laundry HQ here. Again, I'm pretty sure that's either the Spin Doctor. I think it's a Spin Doctor. So I think we pinhole threading HQ. If it's a Spin Doctor, we're okay. If it's the NGO front, it gets popped. And if it's with nothing on it, I guess, so it won't get popped. Or if it's the Rashida, we trash it. So I'm going to just spin pinhole threading HQ. Yeah, that's fine. We can also like, no. We can always like take the tag and then no free lunch, but it's basically the same thing. We have enough money to trash spin. They have to res a spin here. It's a Rashida. Okay, so their hand is spin, NGO, NGO, if I didn't mess it up. We also access to cards, so Hoshipko will flip. So the Dream Note will get even better. This is where we want another liberated accounts, because like here we don't have money. If we play this, we're gonna have 7 cards in hand. Not amazing. We're just running out of money. I think we can draw once, no free lunch, just click for a credit. Like this is a click for 3 credits. Drawing maybe doesn't make sense with Steel Skin, so we'll just do credits instead because we're going to need the money to pay for what we draw. But yeah, I don't know how to deal with R&D here. Like we could always pinhole threading the upgrade. That's probably actually okay. But I wanted to get rid of the Rashida for sure. Now they're drawing unknown cards for the first time in a long time. I'm hoping we can camp the remote though. It's only 2 ice. One of them is Borealis. Worst case scenario, it's like an Eula. Oh, they left. They might have probably disconnected. Whoops. We're back, baby. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm in control here. Like the best case scenario is that the HQ ice is only 3 credits, but the thing is like we don't have DJ Fenris. So we have no way to make an immense amount of value off the HQ runs. And with Stargate, we've seen most of the cards there. I don't know. I feel like I'd feel a bit stronger in Freedom here. I wonder if you can play a Fenris. But yeah, just like an upgrade on RD. I don't know how to deal with it. I think we'd have to pinhole threading it. All right, they're back in. So 1 unknown card in hand. We know that there's NGO, spin, I think. I'm going to guess that's the NGO front, but we might be wrong. So like worst case scenario, that's like 2 more Mess and Chessos. Like that's 6 credits to go through. How do you afford any of this? Like, I don't know what to do. Do we just camp the remote server? Then we're running on NGO front, which is pretty bad. If we Dirty Laundry Archives, it's just a card and a credit and a boat counter. It's not the worst. If we pinhole threading though, we won't have enough money to trash a Cursive Grid unless we pop off the no free lunches. We also need to install something here. I'm hoping for Liberated. Yeah, we got Liberated. I think we can just install that. We do want to run once per turn. I think we can Dirty Laundry Archives. Probably pretty safely. This is actually not the worst hand to motion because we have 2 orchestras. But we're down to our last 6 cards, right? Like the value in our deck is falling apart. Soon Hoshipko is actually going to be a liability. At least it's kind of canceled out by DreamNet. I don't know what I'm doing here. You missed Drive-By? Yeah. Nobody really played that one. It's wild. Pinhole threading is a bit of a different beast. You can always pre-res, of course. Pinhole threading can deal with that. Like, I don't know what to do. If we liberated once, I think we'd have to liberated no free lunch and then pinhole threading this, but even that's not good enough. I think we're just gonna like let them have an NGO and hope for the best. Chat log. Ooh, subliminal. Okay, so that's one of the cards that they just recently drew, and that's an NGO front. Second card, Spin Doctor, or another NGO front. Drive-by was great, but the interdiction was printed. I never loved playing interdiction. It felt really cheesy. Okay, so how much does it cost to run server 4? I think it's a Spin Doctor, so I'm gonna try it. I do feel like we're just like struggling to get any value. Like this does not feel better than any other option. All right, we'll charge server 4. Is 10 credits enough? There's the funhouse. So this is what they're setting up with the data wards. Luckily, we're actually set up for the data ward. For this, that's a taxing remote server. I think there's a data ward in front of HQ as well. I wonder if we can make them res that so they go down to 4. All right, so this is either a tag or 4 credits. So we could always like pop 2 no free lunch. I think we want to keep a no free lunch because it's one of the only ways we can deal with funhouse into a data ward. I feel like I just got deja vu. Thinking. Like they drew, I think, 2 unknown cards. I think this is very likely to be the NGO front. The NGO front's maybe not amazing for them. Maybe you shouldn't have pitched the Citadel. Yeah, tell me about it. I think we should have probably expected them to be on in Funhouse, considering it's the only thing that makes sense with Data Ward. Besides like Ping, but Ping has like a very narrow window where that's reasonable. I don't think we're going to go for this. We'll just end the run. Is your favorite JNet background the root? I've always meant to ask since it's the default. It's the default, and I find it's one of the ones that's the least busy, so it's the easiest to watch, is muted colors. I don't know. Some of the other ones are like really loud and really bright, and I feel like this is kind of my favorite. I don't think I've tried all the other ones, but I like to keep things mostly stock. It's the same when it comes to like all the alt arts you have access to. I don't want to do that just because of accessibility, but I like the root so much that I actually bought the old root playmat just to make sure that I can always feel like I'm at home on JNet. If we run HQ, we know that they have a Spin Doctor and Rashida there. I think there's just a Spin Doctor there. I think we could gain 8 and maybe consider pinhole threading R&D, but if that's a Spin Doctor trashing the upgrades, a bit rough. Reversed accounts, the most we could lose is 8 this turn. If we run archives again, it's 3 credits, but we flip. I'm gonna run archives. Do we dirty laundry archives? Yeah, why not? I don't think we need cards. My background's the old Octagon background. I don't even know if I could tell you what that looks like, even though I played a lot of Octagon back in the day. So this is what Sinister Fairy's playing now. There's a prevalent Sandberg counter in the meta. Oh, now that there's a, oh, I see. Now that there's a Sandberg counter in the meta. All right, so that flips us, gets us a card draw. Would you look at that? That's kind of cool. All right, looks like there's an Occat in front of HQ. If you pinhole into spin, they have to pop it beforehand because they don't know you're in for the upgrade. That's true, Murskifin. Yeah, that's actually very true. Unless they want to call her bluff. Yeah, I think that's worth thinking about. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. If we're assuming that actually just could be a virus. I do think we will pinhole threading it. Did we spot an RPC? We did spot an RPC. Yeah, we did. And I totally forgot about that. We know an RPC in hand, a Red Planet Couriers. We know, I think, one NGO front and 1 Spin Doctor, if I'm not mistaken. What are they doing with Red Planet Courier? It's all about Big Beal. So that makes sense with the wall-to-wall, right? So then they also have to be playing Biotic, and we'll just lose out of nowhere. Yeah. So here, I think we will pinhole threading the archives. I do think it's likely a Chrysium, which is pretty expensive. How's it going, by the way, Arizon? HC's the Apex background, but nothing is a clean look. I think this is somehow meant to be the most clean look to me. It is a Chrysium. Okay, so we trashed that. They didn't have to res 3 for it, which is a bit of a bummer. All right, we have 4 boat counters. That's probably good enough for a Stargate. We're lacking money. We do have 6 credits on the table. We're going to lose like 6 credits, but I think this is an Occat. And the Occat, or a Misfingo. Oh, no. That makes a lot more sense with Red Planet Couriers. This is, again, where you play Freedom, and then you can trash, what's it called, from hand. We have 1 more Hippo on the list, right? You can trash the Red Planet if you get, I guess, 5 virus counters. So this is 7 to break. Yeah, whatever. I don't think they're on, oh, it's actually cheaper now because that install. Don't ask me while there's a paperclip installed. Thank you. That's new. I hit RPC on Beal a couple days ago. Very satisfying to win that one. How's it going, Sideshow? Yeah, that's the idea here. They only have to get so many advancements. Like 4 means that they get 7 advancements. 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to be there. No. We barely going to have money for Bologna. Message Chesto, tomorrow's headlines, send a message. Okay, thinking. So that's the win right there. Playing Prov without hunting grounds. Tell me about it. Can we win off this board state? So the answer is probably no, but not necessarily no. I think we actually can win here. They can't shuffle. So this is 3 credits to go through, and this is 2 boat counters. This is also 3 credits, so it's cheaper. So if we throw out the send a message, okay, so we can run back, break this for 3, break this for 2 boats. Yeah, we win. So we just run regular, run normal. I think we can just dirty laundry here. Yeah, we just dirty laundry, we win. All right, so we have to pop this. Wait, no, we'll be tagged. That's fine, we can clear the tag. Wait, no, we don't have enough money. No, we have. We're dirty laundry. The tomorrow's headline actually would have made the date award bad. Okay, hold on. No, we're getting money from this. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Continue to approach ice. I almost forgot tomorrow's headline would give us a tag, and then the date award's actually obnoxious. That was really funny for a second. Breach server, steal the headline, get 5 credits, clear the tag. We can mad dash archives for style. Don't need to do it. I'm just glad PSK is an option. My SO's really falling for PSK. Yeah, PSK is back there. Still Halloween. The math jump scares. Yo, you don't want to mess it up. Especially when there's people watching. It's so embarrassing. Good game. Oh, they said something. Good game. Ooh, are you on Bodek? Hey, thanks. You too. Yeah, sorry about the jump scare there. 123 credits, but like we feel it, right? This is not a botchless. Sorry, it's not a Rezeki world. Like we have limited economy. And that's where like I like the 3 botchless a fair bit. Like it gives you long economy. You don't crack into need it. RPC for 7 points. Okay. So you have to float it on the table. So the idea with Red Planet Couriers is that it allows them to move for the whole turn as a triple. All of their advancements to 1 card. So as long as you pre-install an agenda, you can win. Now the idea there is that you just, you know, put something in an annoying server. Some people play Bodic Labor so they can do it all at one time. Seeing a lot of influence with Wall and Misfinga. Misfinga's only 2 influence. Wall to Wall is like surprisingly 3 influence. So that's, yeah, it's a fair bit. I don't know if we've seen I wonder if wall to wall is worth the influence. Like it's obviously free advancements. La Costa is actually very similar, and I wonder if it's just a bit better. You don't get the card draw here. But yeah, it's hard. I find RPC Brav decks don't work. It's too slow and the runners just destroy you by late game. That's kind of what happened here, but it was getting close. We'd have to trash all their ice. I think that the data words were like just a turnpike. It would actually been way worse, right? If this was just turnpike, it's like an equally taxing ice at 2 credit res, if not more taxing sometimes. Immediately, if we go tag me, this gets a bit different. And then they also have to, of course, run fun houses. But like the data ward for me is like the strange thing. Wall to wall gives you something to bluff over and over. Yeah, but it's such an expensive cost, right? Like I'm aware that you can return this to hand over and over again. But if you're doing that, you're basically playing like a 2-click corporation. Obviously, sometimes that works out, but I'm never a big believer in like the Blue Sun return to hand install. That never really worked out for me. I don't know. Mileage may vary for sure. But I see what you mean. Yeah. Blue Sun returning snares and all that. Let's do another one. I don't know. Like, I understand this is a good deck, but this doesn't feel like better than everything else. Hey. With Basilissa and Aked, you got plenty of passive advancement counters. It's not so bad. Sideshow. What do you mean exactly? Welcome back. Basilissa too, like you can play that instead of Turnpike. I think Basilissa is a bit more expensive. I do like the fact that it's not a trace, but like nobody traces through Turnpike. Like you just break it or let it fire. I'm testing. I got way more high point BOs with psychographics than ever RPC. Yeah, the deck list that we're putting out on Monday is a startup deck that's running Mutually Assured Destruction and Psycho Beal, and it's like so fun. Like it's so fun to be like near a hub and just be like, I'm wiping the board. You have 1 turn to win. And it like works out more often than not. Outfits actually are pretty scary because they're really, really fast. This is, again, where Freedom's another good matchup because we can disrupt Audacities, we can trash Too Big to Fails, we can do a lot of stuff. In terms of their ice, they have a lot of ice that has a lot of subroutines. So we have to watch out for Wake Up Call, potentially, in Wayland, if we're playing the Endurance, which we are. So we might not trash certain things, in theory, as much as the Freedom boost is there. So I don't know, this is really hard, because like if they're running Bulwarks, that's three subroutines, 2 of them really matter. STS drone deployment's a bit awkward. Yeah, this is not, I think, great. Opening hand, though. Sure Gamble, bad. Sure Gamble, good. 2 Pinhole, a bit rough. Mad Dash, Botulus. We're going to mulligan this. We have Endurance in our opening hand, and we can mosh away some of our stuff. It's hard to mosh away a Hippo. I don't think we will. We'll just do a Hostile here, right? A deck needs Jeeves? Yeah, I never really thought of Mad and Jeeves, right? Basile isn't free? No, it's not free. Yeah, Hostile. Okay, we have Bad Pub. Did we say good luck, have fun? Best of luck, have fun. Pryocon, the Akhet. Oh, priority construction, the Akhet to keep the runner from being able to break the free advancements. I play Prycon. It's a bit hard. You need to be running a lot of ice. Prycon's still really good with a lot of other stuff. The fact that it's a double is like a bit obnoxious. All right, I think we need to keep the Hippo. So I'm going to draw once, and then we're just going to mosh away all of this stuff. We're going to have too many cards in hand. I think that's like a reality of this, because this draws 5, but at least with bin breakers, we don't care. Okay, well, now we kind of care. So here we can just dirty laundry a central. Again, if we hit SDS, we can't steal. We'll be safe enough against, what's it called? A punitive, because we'll get the Hoshipko access. So let's just see what's in HQ. We have some credits to trash things if we need to. By some credits, I mean bad pub. And then we can just install a paladin. We'll call it a day. Oh, okay. That's nice. Oh, if we got our paladin down first. I wonder if that's ever worth it, putting your paladin down first. Yeah, why not, actually? I'm not even sure if they're excited about the second Hostile, right? Like, it doesn't really help them win unless they're also on 2-pointers, which, I don't know. I guess they could be. They easily could be. I'm assuming a lot of times with this sort of big money, you'd assume it's like a punitive. Okay, gives a credit, evens out Vasilisa depending how ice is set up. No, I see what you mean. I think Vasilisa still is a bit expensive. I do really like Akets, though. I also do play NAPD Corden, though, which I think is just really, really good. And, you know, that both of those ice really work well with Corden. All right, it's 12 to 13. We could get Economic Warfare into hard-hitting news. That's a bit of a bummer. Now, we do get a link and 2 credits at the top because we accessed a card. So when we flip back, we'll lose a credit. But it means like this exact turn, we're harder to hard-hitting news, which is exactly where you want it to be. All right, they're drawing up. Getting down the boat's going to be a bit expensive. Again, we have to watch out for hard-hitting news and punitive, so credit differentials matter. Putting the Paladin on first causes the agenda steal, known fact. I think you're right. I want to buy into that sauce. How's it going? Yeah, I feel like that's something I kick myself about a fair bit. Be like, oh, we could have just done the Paladin early. All right, they're setting up for a remote server. Now, R&D is wide open still. No free lunch is nice. I think we want to keep drawing here. I don't think we want to play the Endurance. If we have a turn to like do a Liberated, we could do it maybe now. We could also pre-install the Botulus on here just to make sure we get to subroutines sooner than later. Unfortunately, some expensive cards here. Fermenter can come down. We can get the no free lunch down. I only want to install the Endurance if we're also running the same turn to get a counter turn. And our money's not amazing. So if we install this, we're down to 6. What are we doing for our last click? We can always throw out the Puemo, so that's not a problem. So like click for credit feels a bit rough. I think at this point we might as well run R&D because we get an access. We can also steal SDS now. And we didn't get hard hitting his last turn. Oh yeah, this. People play this now. I guess. That doesn't seem like a good... I don't like this card. I don't know. It's actually a bit better than it looks. I think a big part of this, I'm not a big fan of the art on this one. So they clear the bad publicity. We could still use this to trash this. That means they draw into an unknown card. It costs us 1 to trash. The value of this card kind of falls out. Like, this is a worse draw for them. Admittedly, it's something they can go into a remote server, but I don't really think I care. I think I'd rather have them draw that. The art's too flat. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it has depth in it. That image should have depth, right? We gave up our bad pud. Ping the tag seems better. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. Like, you saw in the last matchup, firstly, we're going to get more bad pub for sure. But you saw in the last matchup, like how often we actually used credits to do things. It's not that common. Like, hopefully we're floating with Endurance. Admittedly, we might have to paperclip something, like paperclip through Bulwark, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, we would have to get at least 4 credits worth of bad publicity in the next couple turns for that not to be right, let alone that we have to trash the thing, which is now 5 credits. So it's actually like kind of meaningful, right? Like a click and two, like, yeah, we can use this to clear the tag, but we can also use this for 3 credits. So we're saying the tag is worth about 3 to 4 credits because our click could be used to do something different. So I don't 100% know. It also depends how long the game is. If we think it's going to be a long game, then we probably should protect the bad publicity, but I'm not expecting this to be a long game. Like we've seen 2 hostels already at the top, so they might be on a lot of 2-pointers and 3 hostels. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think it's interesting. I'm not sure if one side is 100% correct. But I didn't trash it. So we've doubled down. And it could be what's in server 2. We're probably going to see that card again eventually in archives. And that's the cool thing too, is as soon as we take a tag to prevent the bad publicity loss, like at that point, then we're like really committing to like paying tags every time we see one. Because this deck is not running 1. It's running a lot. All right, I think we just endurance run this. They advanced this card? They paid for the advancement. So now we know it's not a bulwark. So it's likely to be an Akata, Hortum, or Mouseless. So all of those we both threw equally. All right, so we didn't get hard-hitting news before. We'll probably get hard-hitting news now. We got the endurance. The boat, always the boat. That happens sometimes. If you hit like shift enter, it posts it without clearing your chat log. I don't know if that's a feature or not. You want to res? Show me the archer. You can't. It's not an archer. They advanced it. It's a mouseless. Okay, that's totally fine. So we'll break 2 of those. So we don't want to take the net. Hippo is hard to hippo this, but we'd want it. We don't want to take the tag for sure. So they can gain a credit. We'd love this to be an Atlas. We get a Paladin counter. Yeah, there you go. Makes sense. That's not a lot of agendas that would advance once. Here, if we want to be really safe, we can crack the Fermenter. We also can crack the No Free Lunch. We've had access to card 2. I don't know if we really need to do either of those. We can always draw once for economy. We have a moshing. We can mosh away Pinhole, Botulus, Paperclip. We'd be on 5 credits and still the ability to go to 8. I think that's probably fine. Is 5 enough? If they economic warfare us, we can always react with the No Free Lunch. If they just do credit, we can react with the No Free Lunch as well. So we'll try and keep our mouse here. Because you can't pop this during the trace of the hard-hitting news if we're expecting that. But you can always pop it before they take their hard-hitting news click. Yeah, we'll see. I wonder why they advanced this. Install advance. Wow, they are on 3 hostels. Okay, so now we got bad publicity back. This is where Stargate could hit the table. It looks like we're not getting punished for not having credits, so let's try and control the game. Let's Stargate away Big Ice. So if we control the top of the deck, they can't draw into agendas. Oh, wow. So there's a Bulwark and a hard-hitting news. Okay, so that's pretty awkward. A Bulwark is really annoying for us to get through. It's hard for us to trash. If we get 4 counters on it, we could consider hippoing it. It's not impossible. The hard-hitting news is obviously quite bad. We did throw out our Pinhole, so the Rashida is probably going to slide through. Unless we run it. I think we could consider running Rashida and then trashing her for free. I don't know what to do here, y'all. We can also just trash the hard-hitting news and get a Bulwark on the table. That's probably better. Right? There's no archive memories here. We didn't get trash hit before. I think we can probably hippo through a Bulwark if we need to. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So now it's Bulwark into Rashida. Okay. So this is 6 credits. They didn't hard-hitting news last turn. We can draw up once more. I don't know what we're drawing into. A Dirty Laundry, something. Oh, that deals with Rashida, which is really nice. So it's either we click for credit or hit the Fermenter. If they manage to hard-hitting news us, like we can take 1 tag. Being on 3 is also good because they can't economic warfare us. Getting rid of news, yeah, it seems pretty good. And if they get the Bulwark down, we can install the Hippo, and then like they really don't want to res it. Again, Fermenter. Pretty good red Brzezeki. All right, so they have in hand the Bulwark. Rashida's on top of R&D. If they don't Bulwark R&D, we just run R&D trash Rashida, then Stargate. Is this highlighted? Why is it highlighted? What are they doing with it? Put it down. Don't touch that. We don't want you to have that. So we know their hand has a Bulwark in it. We know it has, what's it called? The drop rates. All right, so now we need to get the Hippo down and 4 counters before we run, which is totally doable. Okay, that's probably the drop rates. That's not the Rashida, right? They didn't draw. Install card, ice. Okay, so that's not the Rashida. It could be a Rashida. And a second card. Ooh, what's an upgrade? Are they on Managarm? Okay, we're gonna get a bow counter. We're gonna keep Hoshipko online. I think we can consider getting the daily cast down for 2. At this point, we might want to crack the fermenter. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is. I'm just gonna get the bow counter. We're not gonna run the bulwark until. Maybe that's the drop rates and something else. So can we afford the daily cast to go down to like 1 credit? It's okay. Reduce service? I'd be really surprised because they don't ice up archives really well. IDR is the upgrade. Oh, increased drop rate is an upgrade. Of course. Yeah, totally right, Crore. So we'd have to guess which one if we pinhole it. Not that we want to deal with anything else. So Rashida's on the top. I think we just install this and when in Rome. Here they could consider purging. I think we could consider just taking the fermenter. Just to be safe. I don't know if this is like sound fermenter play. I hate boat, truer words never spoken. Not better than Bash. Yeah. Yeah, if they purge there, I don't think we're like too upset about it. Like we still have access to it. We'll have 5 credits next turn. Okay, now they have a Rashida in hand. I played a lad game with Anacom earlier and the core player was stunned and didn't run boat. Yeah, we're going to play stealth tonight, so we're probably not going to play boat. That's a spin doctor. So spin doctor drop rates. So now they've drawn into 2 unknowns. They have Rashida in hand and drop rate in server 2. Bulwark probably on R&D. So if they get second ice on R&D, that's when we start to get scared. So we did like fall off 1 turn from Stargate pressure. Now here we'll easily pinhole threading the Stargate, or sorry, the spin doctor. Stealth smoke or maybe Az. I think we're going to start with smoke, but I want to try Az. I think stealth criminal is really good. Or not really good, it's really fun. I think also stealth and like Anarch in Startup is like very playable. It's all good. I think they hit the acting button. Second ice on HQ, that's surprising. They just draw into a lot of agendas. Again, they don't have a scoring remote. But yeah, now we pinhole threading. Oh, the problem with the pinhole threading. Okay, the big issue with pinhole threading is that if they pop the spin doctor, we have to access the reduced service, or whatever it's called. Sorry, the increased drop rates, which means we just lose our bad publicity. Is that better than just stargating? Probably. Again, how are we using the bad publicity here? They drew after installing HQ. You generally want to draw first. Okay, there you go. Okay, they fixed it. Okay. So what do we do here? We can just run server 2. Again, we can give them a credit. 15 to 16 doesn't change much. We could hippo the mouseless. I don't really want to do that. This is something we can easily deal with boat. The bulwark is the sort of thing that we need to do. Slam hippo Stargate with the spin doctor. You really think so? I don't want to Stargate into spin doctor. It doesn't really do much. I think we can just draw into like what? How many dirty laundries we have left? I think only 1. Yeah, only 1. Like I think we can just could draw and click for credits. You watching me? Yeah, we'll drop. All right, I think we're just gonna run server 2. Actually, I think we'll wait. Who do you think is gonna get bored first, them or us? Because eventually this has to be replaced. They might be on Audacity with every draw. Now I want to run HQ. Yeah, I think we can just run server 2. Like we can lose the bad publicity. Maybe we take down the bulwark before they protect it. Yeah, but I don't want to take the bulwark down and then they spin doctor it. Like that's also pretty bad. And here we can trash the drop rate for 1. You could hippo pinhole the open up Stargate. That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So here we can trash the drop rate for 1. Whatever. Do we want to take a tag? It's take a tag or removes bad publicity. You can remove. We're literally not using the bad publicity. That might change eventually. Will we trash this? This one, yeah, maybe. No, because we're gonna run archives. I don't think so. I don't think so somehow. All right, so we accessed a card. That's good. We have a Mad Dash, so we could win if they have an SDS on the top of the deck somehow. Here we just click for credit, I reckon. I don't want to show that we have the Hippo. We need to get another boat counter, though, which is a bit awkward, before we can like really threaten R&D. We have access to all breakers besides all breakers, period. No overclock in the list, which is surprising. You're dropping BP now, might as well just go for broke and never trash them. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like at this point, we don't trash them. We're also a Stargate list, so we're gonna have to generally run archives. Not always, but more often than not, which means they're gonna continue to fire. So yeah, they can have their cake and eat it too. Ran into my friend playing Ma today, teased them about running such a cheap console. How times have changed. You can no reflinch the IDR tag to keep the bad pub. At that point, though, like we're committing to like trashing every single IDR that we touch, which like we have no intention of doing that, and like removing the tags. Like it's fine. They just don't have bad publicity. Again, we're not spending bad publicity on this board state. Eventually, we will. But if like they audacity out, the game's not gonna be that much longer. Yeah, I don't know. We have to like get a cheap res. Now they're triple advancing this. I don't know if that's actually worth it. Like they can just get 3 credits. They spent more than 3 credits advancing this. DreamNet's good. We install the DreamNet rerun server too. I think it's that simple. We're going to go backwards on bow counters though, which is a bit obnoxious. What else could we do? Now we'd actually consider hippoing this. But we need more boat counters. Like people are icing up everything. They're playing good against boat. Like boat's feeling still pretty powerful, but not as powerful. How do we get a cheap boat counter? You definitely hippo it. How though? Like we can't. We need a 4th boat counter. So I don't know how to get the 4th boat counter. Like run archives. Incredible how the only playable consoles either cost 3 or 8. No. You can play Masterwork. Costs you 2. 1. It costs you 1. I think we'd run archives. Like it feels it's a pretty bad run, but let's just say we're forcing him to res here. A bulwark would be bad. An archer would be okay. A mouseless is fine. I think we just let this fire. Yeah, we just let that fire. Just don't hit a hippo. Okay, you can hit a hippo every once in a while. That's fine. Keiko costs 2. All right. So we have a tag. I do think we just hippo and trash that. That was a really bad hit, unfortunately. No. And now their upgrade is like gonna like goof them up a bit. Because now we can run this to get bow counters if they don't get a second ice here. Rashida, no. Take bad publicity. Nope. We'll just clear the tag. Right? Like now they have to ice this up. Like leaving it there means that we can have a cheap boat run. Seeing the hippos sit unused have been so painful. Yeah, I think I needed to pre-install them. It was hard for us to use them though. Like Jeff, we know this is a bulwark. But yeah, I think that's the one card that we probably just slammed down. I feel like when I play hippo, I hold it in my hand a bit too much, so like opponents don't see it. But I don't know. We're like 20 cards left. We obviously have one in hand. I probably should just play them and just not risk losing them to. I think the only net damage we're expecting is mouseless. But yeah, now our boat's empty. I'd rather install a second boat. In terms of hard hitting news, like it's not great. But again, they advanced that thing. Like, you know how much time and money they spent advancing that ice? Immediately they got like 2 credits back because we let it fire, but we'll get a hippo back at some point. You need to slam the hippo and trash the bulwark into the spin. You really think so? You really think we had to force it? Because now like our R&D pressure is actually pretty weak. Bulwark is 10 to res. Now they'll get 3 back. I think we just smash into this again though. Like we have all our breakers. They drew last click. You generally don't want to do that. 7 credits and 4 clicks gone for them. Yeah, it's huge. And now we're forcing them to res here. If it's a bulwark, we could lose the Stargate. That's fine. And if they res that bulwark, we install a Stargate and go somewhere else. I think on bulwark, we choose what program we trash. Oh, it's an Afshar. So that's 6 credit. This is where having some bad publicity would be good. But that's a really ugly remote server. So again, cheap enough ice to get through to get a bow counter and a card and a credit. Let's see what's new. Crisium, very funny. So you don't get our card and credit. Can we afford to trash Crisium for 5 on this remote server? I don't know, we can. Thinking, that's really funny. Yeah, that's actually a really good play. Now just gate, yeah, they're on 5. I think we're just gonna gate them here. That's fine. We'll get our boat counter somewhere else. And by somewhere else, I mean right here. Like, if they res this somehow, like, we just go HQ. Like, they can't do everything. Them losing the bulwark on RD lets you leverage your pressure there. Yeah, for sure. Like, we know this is a 10 res. We don't have to trash this. It's either they res this or this. We're assuming there's an afshar on HQ, so they can always res that. Here, I don't know if they can res. We have enough money to deal with a sapper. If they get like a 7 strength, what's it called? We can't deal with that. A 7 strength, oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Thinking. All right, now we're running HQ. So we might lose our fermenter here, but let's talk about this. So if we install our MK Ultra, it comes in at 1 strength. So we have to boost. No, this fires. That's fine. Yeah, this is fine. Oh no, they can with the afshar. It's nothing we can do about it. So they're gonna trash these two. But now they're back to 1 point. I think with 3 archers, we might have seen that one coming. We could consider running HQ here. I think it would be fine. Like if they res an afshar, they're back down to 0. And they probably have an agenda in here. This gets us the bow counter we need. Nice. Do we go back? I think we could consider going back. We're on game point. Creature Operator reminds me of a very bad publicity deck I ran ages ago when Surveillance Suite and Broadcast Square. I know vaguely what those cards do. Oh, okay. Cool. Whoa. Good game. What turn was it? Like, they hadn't scored out too many agendas. They didn't filter with Spin Doctor. And it was turn 8. I think that's a bit more agendas than you'd assume. But yeah, if they're going to spend all that stuff resing, they can't ice up everything, huh? The 2 ice on HQ, I think made those HQ runs look really good. The second ice on HQ, I think, betrayed you. Things were going as worse in there as they were. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like if you have a bad HQ, obviously they said in chat, like this is not going well. But if the double ice HQ, right, especially when we're not enacting any HQ pressure, it makes me think like you're compensating for something that's a problem we can't tell. So I didn't think we would steal 2 points. I thought we'd definitely steal a point. I don't think we would steal 2. Yeah. Cool. Just run Centrals, get value or something like that. I don't know. We played 2 Netrunner games by 10 o'clock. Weird how that works, huh? Let's do the news. I'll be back. Hey, cheers. Looking forward to it. All right. That's the thing I call out a lot. So we've been doing degree mill now for a couple months now. And like, you know, there's some basic fundamentals that I think I'm always harping on the stream. Not that I always do them properly, but like a big one that you can see, and our opponent, I think, goofed it a couple times, is a lot of turns where like you install a piece of ice and then draw. Like you just don't want to do that. And I think it's an easy enough thing to fix as long as you put in the mental energy to be like focused on, you know, scheduling your turn, planning your turn. We don't do it perfectly. A lot of times you'll see on my 4th click, I don't realize what I've done into. I think it's for corporation. It's much more easy to plan your turn because with runners, a lot of times you'll access cards or draw cards and it'll change your turn. But for a corporation, like you can plan out everything because there's just about nothing runners can do in the middle of your turn. So keep that in mind. I hear you have a nice splash. Do I? Boy, do I. The gender drop rate was increased too much. Arzon, by the way, it's really great to meet you in person. Hopefully your launch time over there has been pretty good and the rest of your vacation was nice. All right, some quick news. Firstly, I feel really, really silly that we didn't shout this out last week because this thing is sick. Again, all the links are going to be in the comments below, but this is on TCG Player, which is a website of, I reckon, pretty big popularity. I knew mostly TCG Player as like a hub for people selling collectible cards. I know this is where people are looking at prices for like Flesh and Blood and stuff like that. But this is an article written by Peter Day, and you might know Peter Day more by his handle Quacktopus, who ended up top 16ing at Worlds. That's him, nice guy. He was on stream. knocked out Sokka. We're going to play some of his decks tonight too. But he wrote this really good article about, hey, TCG publishers suck. What about if players were in charge? And it was basically his narrative, his story of him and some friends going up to Toronto to experience World's Netrunner Championship. And it's a really good article. It's interviews from the Null Signal folks. There's a lot of interviews from people from Montreal, which is fantastic. Like Pat, I know my name comes up here too, because we played against this team. In fact, we talked about Lilith, who was the player that I ran into at Crown of Servers on round 2, who has only been playing the game for 2 weeks and had a fantastic time, I think, at the event. So this is just like a really good write-up about how, like, in stark comparison to something like Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, which are doing a lot of financially motivated decisions, your $1,000 set of proxy cards or whatever, you know how it is right now in Magic. How this is really different, where like Worlds is meant to be a loss leader for the game, right? Like, I think there's a really good quote from, I'm going to assume it's Orbital, who said specifically, if Netrunner Worlds made money, if Netrunner Worlds was a profitable event, they didn't run a good enough event, which is just like so cool to read. And I think that's fantastic. So there's some nice photos and some nice stories. Again, you can find this on TCG Player. And fun enough is, in response to this, I actually got contacted by like the people at the Silver Goblin specifically, who I've been holding our Netrunner events, but we're never like really Netrunner players. And so they mentioned specifically like, hey, we've got a lot of response from people reading this article who want to know like what to do to get into Netrunner. And then my the feedback, they basically asked like, what can we do? So I linked them like, here, this is where you can get System Gateway, because they're getting into the game and they want to do weekly regular nights. So like, I'm hoping that this actually spreads and people have an understanding that there are like very deep card games that have, you know, less accessibility issues. Hold on, I just need to read through this. Deep Block Galactic Season 3 is all my gaming time right now. Rock and Star Brothers, Lenagon, how's it going? MW2 launch has been pretty good so far. Just have to keep up with Warzone 2 launch next week. Oh, that's a big one too, huh? Before, more importantly, we had this great store champ in Vancouver with 20 people and I managed top 2. Well done. I think I saw some of the deck lists from that as well. I don't think Netrunner is the best advertisement for a player-driven game when they printed Drago and Endurance. You're getting lolled at. How's it going? Wow, how's it going, Eric? I don't think that's by any case. I don't think that's accurate by a mile. Like, the fact that this is a player run game versus the fact that there's currently balance issues with the game, if you want to call them that, are like two very different things. If you're assuming that because this is run by volunteers and it's a nonprofit that has any impact on the quality, the balance of the game, I think you're actually more likely to be incorrect than correct. The fact that we have, you know, probably more established rigorous testing and with less like, you know, reasons to push out busted powerful cards for sales numbers, I think pushes you in the direct opposite. I think you were right that there's probably balance issues that can be criticized. I just don't think it relates anything to the fact that Null Signal is doing a fantastic job releasing a game for not profit, which is the point of this article. So Endurance is good, but the games are fun. Yeah. FFG print is different. Yeah, exactly. Burn, like, you can go back. There's people are going to get stuff wrong. And like, this is like, I think a really unfortunate thing to like harp on to some extent, because this was said clearly by June in like, if you watch the, what's it called? The ShadowNet art podcast where she was on, and she was saying like specifically, if a card is banned from this set, this means we've done something good. I think the problem is the awkward timing where I don't think we're going to see bans or any sort of balance address from Null Signal until Parhelion, and probably not even till after Parhelion's around for a while, because I'm imagining there's cards in there that like interact favorably into you know, the what's it called, Endurance. Because the problem with Endurance is that it seemed to be tested in the whole set of what's it called, Borealis, as opposed to just on its own. So I think that's the issue. But I do think it's good that we have a powerful Shaper card and people are playing Shaper and people are running and interacting. Like, it's a very nuanced conversation, but I think we're on the correct side of things being busted by a mile. Hold on, let me catch up on chat. If enough people sign the ban Endurance petition, I think SPL will ban it too, so keep complaining. Oh man. Endurance is meta warning, but I argue it's way less warping than Count 7. I think so. Like, yes, historically, there's so many arguments that make Endurance look totally reasonable. I honestly think Endurance is creating some good stuff. I agree that Ice Invalidation, like, obviously there's an issue here. Like, all the top 16 decks out of any faction, 80 to 90% of the time they're running Endurance. Like, we can't deny it. But I do think it's an interesting, powerful card. I don't like Drago as much. Can you share the link? Yeah, Albin, how's it going? I'll put the link in here. It'll be posted by the Restream bot. So find it there at the bottom. It's a joke, mate? All right, okay, cool. It's hard to tell. Like, look, it's a joke, mate. I get it, and that's cool too. It's just, you know, sarcasm doesn't translate well. People can read that as if you're serious. So excuse me if we're all dogpiling. I don't think everyone's dogpiling. rather us have the occasional overpowered card than what happened with Downfall, where most of the cards are underpowered because NSG was too worried about printing anything too powerful. We only get limited cards from SG. Let's make them big things to the game. Exactly. That's what I agree. And I think that June was saying that, like, if we're going to have new cards, I hope they're good and interesting that people want to play with them. Not just like the Jinteki cards for Ashes, if I want to call it something specific. Cordyceps. Yeah. Okay. Endurance is more fun than Hate Bear. I like that deck. I think Downfall and more misses on unplayables, but stuff like Bravado and Bogalter are best in classes for the slots. Yeah. Andre, would Bo be balanced if it gave 0 MU instead of 2 MU? I don't know. Because, like, I know people complain about that, but I honestly like more cards in Netrunner to give you more MU. Because, okay, hear me out. Because I think that's one of the issues. There's so many cards that don't see any play because they just take up MU that are breakers, right? Like the fact that you could play, what's it called? What's that bankroll, right? Like it's a totally cromulent enough card, but people don't play it because your MU goes to something more better, more interesting. I wish MU was a bit more free in this game and a bit more giving, because I do think people would participate more with a bigger slice of the card pool. Like I think Cordyceps is arguably potentially a playable card if it didn't cost MU, for instance. So to some extent, I do like that these cards provide more MU so you have more things to play with. Now, obviously, if it didn't give MU, it'd be a big drawback, and I think that's maybe a way you could consider balancing the boat. I think if you could only use the boat to break 1 ice a turn, it would still be very powerful, but that might be a better way to get around it. But I just like the fact that we have cards that give you MU that are playable, and I wish MU wasn't as tight, because I don't think anyone's making smart decisions when it comes to MU. They're just like, I'll run 3 breakers on the Stargate, and we're just discounting entire piles of the card pool. Maybe that's like a bad take, and maybe if you have unlimited MU, like things get busted. Probably, but I just wish there was more MU to be played with. I don't know. If the boat doesn't give MU, I think a Freedom deck is dead. Yeah, you enjoy your Yusuf for 2 MU or whatever. Hey, Seisho. I've seen other people say if the bow was an AI, somehow that could help. Yeah, it would help. But by help, I mean still force the meta to play like a really small subsection of cards that hate AIs. And they're pretty good. It's just like at that point, you're getting a more homogenous response meta where it's like now every deck is IP block. I don't know. I don't think that's my solution of my first solution, but I understand that that's like, if there was a more conditional clause on it. Yeah, I hear it. A rod of the boat. Tone indicators are your friend on the internet / Jen. I know in green level clearance there's tone indicators. I haven't seen them used much, but I'm not too into green level clearance, but I think it's good. Cromulent? I use cromulent a lot, and I think it's actually now just an English word. I think printing more cards that are clear tech choices versus a boat would put things in a good spot. I think that's what we're going to see in Parhelion. That's my guess. An issue at the moment is that even if you know that you're playing versus boat, there's no rock, paper, scissors style counter to it. There is, it's just like, I don't think it's that, like, next activation command, one of the best ways to deal with it, but it's like HB only largely. Triple subroutine ice is not uniquely distributed. Like I would give, a lot for Spiderweb back in the meta. So yes or no? Yeah, I do. I'm really interested to see what in Parhelion makes you want to either not play boat or is better than boat or comparable to boat. Because again, testing as a whole has seemed to be what it's been called. Having a big rig in its own is its own downside, really, due to being slow and expensive. The MU restraint has always seemed a bit superfluous to me. Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it, though, right? Like, there's very few cards that interact with MU in interesting ways. Like, we don't have Hive Overmind anymore, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of wish there was more cards like this that could see play because they're generally interesting. But largely, everyone just plays Icebreakers and a multi-axis card, and I wish that was a bit different in the game. I made a few custom cards that are basically flatline the runner if they've been installed boat. I think there'd be a pretty easy way to counter boat. Yeah. Speaking about custom cards, we'll get to that in a second. Also, I think if there was more anti-boat ice, boat wouldn't be so bad. Yeah, of course. I think that's an easy change. Real quick segue. So there is some events coming this month, actually as soon as this weekend. That's the RAM, the Random Access Memories event, and the NSG Online Eternal Tournament. Now, RAM is just this weekend. I think that, or next weekend, excuse me, on the 12th. But if I'm not mistaken, this weekend, yes, this weekend on Sunday, we will be streaming some Eternal gameplay. So you might know Yasengren SC, Jeff is a big Eternal fan and has published and shown a lot of Eternal decks. So if you want to get involved in Eternal and don't know what it looks like, don't know some of the cards, Sunday morning, me and Jeff will both be streaming on each of their own channels, the thing that makes sense, and we'll be just playing Eternal games casually against each other. Jeff has been very kind to publish certain decks and archetypes, so if you want to get into Eternal but are intimidated by deck building because the card pool is really big, I hear you. Same for me. So I'm just gonna be grabbing some of Jeff's decks, and we're gonna just be jamming them. So Sunday morning, again, if you're on YouTube, you can hit the notification. If you're on Twitch, you can follow, and you'll get a push notification. It'll be around 10 o'clock on Sunday. Same for Jeff. Go get him a follow. He hit 1,000 subs. Go finish his form. SMH not shining at the 30-person tournament in Seattle on Saturday. I don't know anything about Seattle, Eric. Hate to see paper tournaments erasure. All tournaments should be digital. I don't think Knack or Wake Up Call are even really counters to Boat. They don't beat Boat. They just make the matchups too even. I think we've actually seen ours on in top tables. Like Knack seems like it just beats Boat. Like we saw at top tables of Worlds, Boat being a dead card in some matchups, just the way that people are playing. Meat space is dead. Long live that space. Something's happening in Seattle this weekend. Enjoy it. Seattle. Are you driving down? And in the case the busted card is good enough that if their plans to print hate tech, it should have been printed in the same set. Yeah, that's like a pain point that's come up all the way back in the day as of FFG as well. Sometimes sets are just broken up. I don't know if that was like a miss where the testing for different sets or half sets. I don't know, but we'll find out soon. I don't agree. How's it going, Eris? With framing a card that's too strong as a card that people really want to play, hence a good thing. If a card is as meta defining like the Boat is, then the overlap between people who want to play the card and who do play it is not a perfect overlap. People who play meta cards, no matter how fun they are. I'm not sure I entirely grok that. A card that people really want to play, hence it's a good thing. Oh, was that what it was called before? I think Boat was shouted out specifically back in the day as like a card that was exciting to play. And now it's also a mixture of, you know, a card that you kind of want to play or have to play. So I think I hear you. 7us from Vancouver taking the train down. Well, wait, America has trains? That's really cool. Hopefully y'all have fun. Let us know how it goes. Kind of hate to ask this, but since you're from MTL, are you aware of any players from Quebec City? Had no luck on GLC Discord. Hey, Sideshow, so my French is not very good, so I've never been really plugged into Quebec meta. I don't think I've actually even gone to Quebec City to play Netrunner at any point. So I don't really know. We have the Montreal Discord, which is, I think, mostly Montreal, so I can't say I know. Maybe contact some of the big stores there. I reckon if you're around, you have. But no, I couldn't tell you of any players from Quebec City, unfortunately. Oh, this is the next cool thing. Okay, so not this Sunday, but the Sunday after, I think with Jeff as well. Nemec is a person who's been designing their own custom cards. And I've done 2 streams so far where we're on Tabletop Simulator, and he puts out these sets of cards. He's publishing finally his final set of cards. It's like 1,000 Netrunner cards that he has created and tested. And we're going to just be playing them Tabletop Simulator again, not the Sunday, but the Sunday after in the afternoon. Just to show you what they look like, I haven't seen them. He sent me like a file of 1,000 of them. I'm not going to do any deck building because it's overwhelming. So he's going to make some decks and we're just going to try them out. So we'll see how it goes. If you want to see what these look like, I think Nemec very notably makes cards using a template. And that template he has made publicly available. So it's a Photoshop file that mimics the old FFG cards, and it's very easy for you to go into Photoshop and change the words and all that sort of good stuff. But also there's a script, so you can like automate huge batches of cards, and that's what it is. Yeah, 1,000 when it gone. 1,000 cards. Hold on, I'll show you this. This is a RAR with 1,000 cards in it. And to show you what they look like, because the quality is, you know, it's interesting. It's some very interesting stuff here. Download more RAM. Okay, this is a random card we opened. 2 strength, 3 cost. It is a Kogate. This ice has +1 strength for each unused RAM, or sorry, MU the runner has. The runner loses 3 credits, gain 2 credits, instant, fast, free. Interesting. And that's the thing is like these cards are all over the place. I think some are underpowered, some are overpowered. Obviously, that's what's going to happen. It's 1,000 cards. 3/1 where you are. 2 recurring credits during traces or when secretly spending credits. Secretly spending is a fun clause. Interesting. That's making news ability. Let's go up to what I imagine will be somewhere around Jinteki. Wana Initiative, always a catch. Identity Division, 17, Influence 45. The first time each turn a trap or ambush card enters archives during a run, you may pay a credit to reveal and shuffle into R&D. Don't want to play against this. Go to close this tab real quick. No, thank you. Beast, 4 credits, Barrier Destroyer, 0 strength. This ice is +2 strength for each click the runner has spent this turn. 2 subroutines, trash an installed virtual card for each click the runner spent this turn. Whoa, and end the run. This is cool. And like we've seen so many cards like this that I think are actually very interesting. And we played back in the deck, like there's a bunch of cards that did things on res, which was, you know, a thing that Nemec was printing a fair bit, and I find them very interesting. But there's a lot of cards like this, and they're really cool and really interesting. So again, I'm just opening random ones here, but we're going to be playing with that set, and Nemec's going to be releasing the set. It is not, I think, a perfectly balanced set. It is aware of null signal cards. I know Mark shows up on a couple cards specifically, but it'll be a set that will be a link on 2 Sundays from now for you to go get printed, to have fun, build a cube, whatever you want. It's just like 1,000 Netrunner cards, so just do whatever you want. Caroline Reaper, dual wielding wizard, 2 recurring credits, stealth type. Use these credits to pay for using programs if you have no more than 2 icebreakers installed. Self-improvement, priority run, play as your first click, priority run event, make a run. If this run was successful, look at the top X cards of your stack, add 1 to your grip, shuffle your stack. X is the number of credits you spent during the run. Whoa, like stuff like this is really cool. That actually are, I think, things you need to build around to some extent. Yeah, these cards are like genuinely, some of them are quite interesting. Again, 1,000 cards will be a means, but like I think most of them are actually very fascinating. I'd play the cat girl even the text was blank. Yeah, they're really cool. 1,000 flavors of diesel, Meta Ascension. How's it going? Yeah. So anyways, these cards will be released. I'll just do a couple more because this is really fun. Oh, I think we can do an analysis on this. Shaper. Okay, 2 credits for Lubok. It's a program icebreaker, not an AI. This icebreaker, break ice subroutine for 1 credit. This program cannot gain strength. Come to Baba. So you'd have to play this with like Ice Carver and Leech and any other things that reduce strength. This is cool. This is obviously a build around, but like it's so cool to see new Netrunner cards and like it opens up, you know, a world of possibilities. I think we saw Regine Adler last time. Yeah, you may play priority events as your second click. The first time each turn you gain or take credits from a job, gain a credit from the bank. I played a deck with this in the last VOD. Battle Station, console, 4-crossed, unique, 1 MU. The first time each turn you breach HQ, you may trash 1 card from your grip to force the corp to draw 2 cards. We're still trying to make this archetype work, and I appreciate that. Oh wow, that's gonna be rough for the runner. Getaway ride, hardware vehicle, terminal vehicle, interact, trash, jack out, gain 4 credits at end of your action phase, and end your action phase. Uses ability only right after a subroutine has fired. Cool. Is gang sign legal in this format? I'm not 100% clear. Because what Nemec has said so far is that some of these cards are actually like support cards for things that are rotated. But again, I think Nemec wants you to play with largely just this set of cards. So I honestly don't know. We'll find out. Because I think we last time played with cards from Standard and these cards as well. But it's cool. Oh, or Baba Yaga. I see what you mean. Atom cards. This is really cool because we talked about this last week. Is Nemec made a lot of cards for the for the mini factions. So there was like more directives. Scrounging, event, CD, shuffle up to 5 different virtual cards from your heap into your stack. All right, so it's kind of like a Harmony AR therapy. I want to see the directives though. Hold on, we're only going to open a couple more. Here you go. At any cost, 0 cost, unique. You cannot have more than 12 credits, but if your turn begins, gain 1 credit if you have fewer than 6. I just love the idea with Adam having more directives. So at the beginning of the matchup, you're actually making a decision, not just ABR or not ABR. And normally you say not ABR, but yeah, anyways, that's going to be in not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. We're going to be playing with these on TTS. And I'm really looking forward to them because I just love opening new decks and new cards and trying to figure it out. And it's always a good time. Cool. Yeah, the Icebreaker is probably quite good. Actually, I don't even know if it's that good on Baba Yaga. It's not that hard to get. Like, you'd have to still play Unity and that. I don't think it's absurd. I think it's probably pretty good. Catching you live, you said to shadow box all those hundreds of correct. Wait, sorry. Yeah, did you shadowbox, David? I see what you're saying. Yeah, did you get to that? I remember he designed heaps of cool synergistic Shaper stuff. The Virus Shaper deck that I played against Pat was like so busted that it just kind of rolled through Pat. I do think it was in the previous stream or the second stream. But yeah, the Shaper Virus stuff was really, really cool. This idea I really like. There's an HB ID that allowed you to trash a card to reduce or res something by 2 whenever you are off the top of R&D randomly. And I think one of my favorite identities was an NBN one that said you play with the top of your deck face up, but at the start of your turn, you can either choose to, I think, either get 2 credits or draw a card. So you got this like at the beginning of every turn. So not only the runner's turn, but your turn. So it gave you this like real big risk reward, but it gave you a lot of information, a lot of power to both sides. It was really, really cool. So good stuff. Back directive plus companions, Cheds, etc. would be wild. Doesn't it like make you excited to play some Netrunner? I think it's really cool. All right, speaking about excited to play Netrunner, I think that's the end of the news. We're gonna play some Smoke, and this is Oberb's Smoke list, which is actually based off of Quacktopus' Smoke list, which we again just saw the article that Quacktopus wrote for GLC. The differences between this deck, I think this deck, oh, it's actually already open here, is pretty notable. This is one of the few decks in the top 16 worlds that wasn't running Endurance. This is running 2 Anacom for the card draw because we were playing Smoke, and Smoke is running Stealth Breakers. So you don't need the Endurance. Maybe you can still play it, but you have a lot of stuff to install. You have really cheap breakers. Again, it's the Stealth subtype. There's certain cards. This goes all the way back to largely from the original Netrunner back in 1990s. Is that you had these breakers that required stealth credits, but they were more efficient. The problem is stealth credits are very limited. Your credit pool is never stealth credits, so you have to play all these support cards. So the idea here is that we have 2 Mantle, We have Smoke herself. We also have 40 card minimum. We're playing 42. Well done, Quacktopus. And we have Net Recur, which allows us to get extra value from our stealth credits to put them on Net Recur, to either to bank them there to use for anything or to get card draw. And on top of that, we have a Trickster Taka, which is another stealth card. The big change to these decks is they got access to the twinning, and this deck is just ripe of ways to use your recurring credits to charge the twinning, which is the multi-axis we have. Now, I'm surprised this deck does really well, apparently, in a field full of sports medals, even though it doesn't have Stargate. It does have Clot, though, which isn't very common always in the smoke lists, but the idea is that we can use our credits from Net Recur, from Taka, from Mantle, not from Smoke, because she's not installed, to get your twinning charges, and that's pretty cool. This was the one from the from the Vancouver Circuit Opener, which was mentioned today. Arzon, you came second in this one, right? But this one is very similar, but it's running Endurance. Did the other one have DJ Fenris? It didn't. So it's running DJ Fenris instead of a Piece in Our Time. Even though we have less money, maybe we have more money. So we'll try both versions. I think I'm more excited to try the one that doesn't have Endurance. All right, hold on. I will go to Worlds next time and bring all these cards. I also found a bunch of where's those the Coast Netrunner starters? Are they going to fix the boat meta? Yeah, definitely. I think you're going to wait for Parhelion though. Cost 0, make Yaga a 3-card combo. It's probably nowhere near too good, but it's a huge upgrade for Yaga. Yaga, that icebreaker plus strength gain. I don't even know if that's enough, Ixaran. Like, I think you're better off playing Unity with Yaga and then just playing things that break like 1 for 2 subroutines or like 2 for all subroutines. I'd imagine that's better. You're right, it's less pieces, but then your Unity's not as good. So I don't know. I'd be a bit surprised if it was better than anything. Oberb cleared House of Vancouver Store Champ. She's only been playing for a couple months, but came to Vancouver from Seattle and took the whole thing, winning versus Sports in the Grand Finals. Oh, that's so cool to hear. Hey, Steven, I've been playing loads of Smoke this week, DJing to Sable. Now you're at Sable Deep Dive and Mantle Twinning. Yeah, that's actually important to know. Also, on top of the twinning, we have 2 copies of Deep Dive, and we saw that do really well. And this version doesn't have the DJ Fenris, which a lot of times in Shaper, sometimes you're just playing to become Sable, because Sable gives you that extra click if you run your mark, which makes it really easy for you to fire a Deep Dive. So I like that this deck has multiple, multi-axis. It kind of feels like a Sable deck to some extent, except we have really good breakers and hopefully some clickless card draw. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to start here, though, to see what this feels like, and then go from there. And go from there to the Endurance version. This is weird. I've never seen this before. Finals came down to hitting an agenda in HQ for the win on a 2 out of 5, or I'd score at the next turn. Ooh, better lucky. I don't know what to do here, I'll be honest. There's no deck here. The deck is not to be found. It's literally a stealth deck. That's so meta. Does this one work? What's with that? I also found Beth to be mediocre in the deck. For real? How is this so stealth? Found it. All good. Yeah. Could you bring the deck down to 40 cards? Probably. Oops. Let's see if we can. I like Onicom. Your breakers are the best. I'd rather have Pinhole than Clot, since running Clot means never running near useless Simulchip. Yeah, you need Simulchip to run Clot, that's for sure. Stealth, Smoke, Quacktopus. Yeah, I agree with that. I think if we're playing on JNIC casual, we can probably drop the Clot and play Pinhole, because we're not playing into a 45 Smoke. Sorry, a 40, like a 30% whatever sports metal meta. L Smokes, go back. Drop Beth, Clot, 2 Simulchips, add 2 Pinhole. Okay, hold on. So we're on 42 cards. Let's try and get rid of the Clot. Then we can get rid of the Simulchips. So we can run 2 Pinhole, which is good anyways. It allows us to like run while charging. So we're at 41. Hey, Lily, got interested in Netrunner again recently, found your channel, and have been binging your videos. Awesome to catch you live for once. I hope you're having and continue to have a fantastic week. That's very kind. Welcome to the channel. Again recently. Welcome back. Netrunner is it's kind of doing its thing right now. Hopefully you're having a good time too. Thanks for the kind words. Switchblade is +7 strength for 1 stealth credit, but it's Rotato. Yeah. If you play Rotato cards with Baba Yaga, you have access to Yogg too, so like it gets a lot better. Adding a Cubon with Clot makes the chips more relevant in non-FM matchups. Oh, do you need Cubon though? Cubon's a really Cubon's like a card that, again, it's an exact argument of like if we had more MU, the things we would play. We'll play 41, I guess. What could we cut? Like maybe the Beth. I like Beth a lot. 3 SMC again. We don't have Into the Depths, so this is our like our rigidity. We could cut the piece in our time and then try playing, what's it called? Our friend boat. No, DJ Penrose. I think we do that. With sports and Oberon, Claw's pretty good though. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think if you're going for Worlds, you definitely play Claude. I think if you're playing JNet casual, you probably play Claude. But definitely less than Worlds. Runner. Okay. Back when the meta was slower, I really enjoyed running Maw and Smoke. Yeah, Maw Smoke was hot for a while. But Peace in Our Time was game losing with the current corp. Yeah, I think the write-up calls out there's certain matchups that you cannot play Peace in Our Time. This is probably one of them that we could. Hey, hey. All right, I'm actually pretty dreading... I don't know, I feel like there's so many corps right now that I'm sitting across of them and being like, oh, this is going to be a grind. And this might be one of them. Not sure what this could be. Could be full Glacier, could be fast, could be Regenesis nonsense. Or we have After Image, which means we can't bypass Anansi's, but we can break them for 4 credits as long as we have 1 stealth a pop, which is pretty good. Otherwise, or no, it's not 4, it's 5, right? Yeah, it's 5. Boost, boost, break, break. Yeah, 5. That's fine. Hey, stream. Otherwise, our opening hand, we have a gamble. Dirty Laundry early to access is okay. Generally, Jinteki doesn't play any good barriers. They just don't have barriers. They never printed any. I think this hand is like okay. It's not amazing. Getting the After Image down soon is okay, but I think we obviously need oh no, we don't need support. We can break just about every sentry. No, we need 2 stealth credits. Sorry for we'll keep this. I don't know how good this is. Yeah, you need 2 stealth. Yeah, because you have to boost twice. You're right. I don't know if it's gonna be the full conserve hit points. It might be. Mind the Regenesis. Okay, so we were so excited about Regenesis like when it came out, and now that everyone's got a Regenesis scored out against them, how do you feel about it? Because to me, it's feeling like a vulnerability audit, which is just like, oh, it's my Mitosis deck. Just traps, my friends, just traps. Do you want to take an overrider on turn 1? I don't know if we're making smart decisions. 3 credits means that they're we cut the simul chip, so we have to pre-install this. Do we die to Urtica? Yeah. We died to Urtica. Do we die to Clearinghouse? No? Okay. I don't know. It's traps. You just run stuff. I don't know. The other one could be an NGO front. I feel like if they score this, like we're okay with it. At that point, we've already taken the damage, so we might as well trash it. If they're playing Gene Splicer, like they might be on full traps, and this is where not having a Stargate is actually pretty bad. Jinteki's is also kind of hard to deep dive on, because if they run Anemone, which they should be, or a Snare, or anything that does damage on access. Immediately, like if we die, we die. But it's playing JNet casual against Jinteki. Like, we don't know what they're installing. It's either we play conservative or we play aggressive. We play aggressive and we lose, the game's over quickly. Like that's the problem with the JNet Jinteki casual lobby. Is like nobody like is really scared. If the game is for fun, I'm just gonna check stuff and see how bad it goes. Junebug needing a single credit in Urtica firing while flat broke is a much bigger thing than I initially thought. Yeah, it's a big change. I do think an NGO on the table would like fix that for sure. The fact that it also does damage unadvanced somehow doesn't matter a lot, but I think it could. But at least we drew a diesel, right? Playing Jinteki online is like, please let me die to Urtica so I can move on with my life. I'm kind of with you on that, but like, okay, so that's an NGO front if I've ever seen one. Anakom also, huge hit points, but we have to install the Penrose before we lose it to damage. If we lose the Penrose, do we lose the game? Yeah. All right, well, we can have some money here. Hopefully Rashida. Bring back AR Lavi. You don't want to do that. It's a Rashida, that's fine. Just want my Guru Devinder back. Man, I don't know if I've ever played Guru unless it was part of a decklist of the week, or again, like some degenerate combo deck where we deserved each other's company. I don't know. I heard last week there's a lot of complaints about, and again, the decklist of the week did get you there, but yeah, I don't know. If you don't have a Stargate, you just have to take some accesses. You can play safe, like you can play around things, but I feel like more often than not, I find myself just taking risks anyways. Be like, if it works out, it works out. Guru is my solution for damaging Gang Sign Leela. I've got found memories. I guess you were probably playing Film Critic, right? I think you have to. Install Guru, can't steal Obo. Yeah, you went out of your way to like ran a Kakugo. Yeah, there's a big window actually, Mara, where you could not play. Like there was Guru, but wasn't Film Critic. at least for like the last 2 years or so. There was one rotation at least where that's true. Make a plastic for net damage? There exists. It's just bad. Could we just win on centrals? Tune in tonight as we find out. Like, what is this? The main mistake I see from people playing versus Ps, they play draw cards and mill themselves. I don't want to overdraw, but obviously you want to have enough cards in hand. Spin Dr. Last Click. Like the issue here is we have to install these. Like we have to install the Penrose. We also have only 41 cards. I cry a little inside when I see people play Deuces Wild with me versus P. That I wouldn't do. That's for sure. But like Diesel from 1 card, yeah. Or Diesel with 5 cards to go to 8 to start checking things, or to run like, you know, data ward nonsense. Yeah. But no, I hear you. How hard is it to change that on JNet? I don't know. They haven't done it yet. But yeah, this could say core damage. But JNet is not null signal, so it'll happen at a different speed. I don't know. I'll run server 4, I guess, but we have to get this down first. All right. I don't want to go down to 0 because then we can't trash stuff. Could be like the one that hurts you, Bladderwort. Oh, okay, cool. All right, I'm going to check archives because they're just putting Regenesis down. Closure is also very hard. All right, so it looks like there was an Obokata in there. We just diffused a Regenesis, so that's what they're up to. We also flipped their ability. Their money matters. I do think this is an NGO front. If anyone knows Closure and has spare time, Noah's very overwhelmed. I think you could definitely use some help on JNet. Yeah. I also didn't realize you could bug report, I think, on here. I think I saw that on Ixaron, your thing. I did manage to get JNet running locally once, but there's a fair bit of boarding to get it running. Or onboarding, probably. Yeah, onboarding. Yeah, excuse me. All right, they're drawn up. Yeah, there's a bunch of JNet mirrors I've seen. But yeah, no, I don't know Closure. I was looking up at like card implementation and like you can kind of figure it out, but it's not. Gotta look at it for sure. Gotta do some research. Hansei review last click. Okay, card and archives. Probably still need to check it. I'll drop once. Oh, we have one of these down. That's cool. There's still no stealth credits. I just want to make sure we don't get regenied. It's a moon pool. Okay, so they're up to any trap could be like a horribly lethal trap. I'm just gonna install this and I'm gonna install this. This again is such a safety to damage. Not that we're gonna play a lot of our events, but if we ever like take core damage or take net damage and it trashes an event from hand, we draw a card once per turn. So it's harder for them to like get you, even though we could easily die to get you at any point. Cobra is a lot more approachable since it's written in Ruby. I'm really excited for Cobra to have a physical bracket. That's always been like a pain point streaming events. It's like the physical bracket doesn't exist on Cobra. I think that'd be a sick update. DJ Steeped is great Jinteki tech. This one doesn't have DJ though. This is the non-DJ version. This is Quacktopus's version. So we're on like a piece in our time. But yeah, it'd be sick. Oh, it would have been cool for a minute there, huh? Upgrade on R&D. How do you play against Mwanza? You can't. Mwanza's... You pinhole threading it. Never mind. All right. So we don't play these cards. We want to play as few cards that give us the most value. So we'll play the second telework because it is a lot of economy on a card. And Beth is like a bit dodgy because it will eventually mill us if they set between 10 and 14. They're also slowly advancing this. I think it might be an Obokata or it might be a Regenesis. Either way, whatever. So we're just going to play the cards that have the most value on them. This is also another thing. If you have 2 cards that have economy on them, you want to divide the one that you use. So you can take... So if you're tagged, they can't trash 1 for 9. So try and split it up. The time at least I didn't have a Dockerized setup. There are a lot of words here I don't know. And I didn't want to just install a particular version of the JVM plus Closure directly into my WSL environment. So most of the hard work was finding a good Docker image. Yep. Base and getting a working... Yep. Yeah. Somebody understood that. It's not me. Black Tree, you're just checking the top card of the deck every turn. Yeah, ideally we would. But like if that's a Mwanza, we'll lose. If that's a Hokusai, we just have to deal with it. And hopefully we pinhole threading it. We trade a card for a card. So it's not amazing, but it's at least we can deal with a Mwanza. Can you res the Mwanzas to get like 2 credits? I guess you can, right? I'm not sure the text on Mwanza, but Mwanza is like one of my least favorite Netrunner cards of all time. Hedge fund advance. Okay. I don't know. Maybe we died to like two what's it called? Clearinghouses or whatever. All right. And Namakura would be sick. A mantle is just good enough. Now we can deal with sentries. All right. Can we face check? Yeah, we can deal any ice that's going to hurt us. Unless it's a Chiashi, that's going to hurt us. But actually, we have paper clips. So no, we're in an okay spot. I recently got an NRDB running locally to use it for a deck building with custom cards. Chris, I have an NRDB question for you. Can you search NRDB to find which cards show up the least in decks? Can you query that? A few gotchas, but it was nice when it's up and running. I've only interacted with NetRunnerDB when I've run APIs for like deck scraping because I was trying to do a deck tracker for video. All right, so one of these is going to get a moon pool and it's going to hurt us. We'll find out which one it is. No. Beans. Okay, so this could be a moon pool. That's an Urtica. So they don't have to res it, but it makes it clear. It's good streaming etiquette. We're going to definitely draw a card on this. That's all good. Ah, no worries. So Bath and Overclock, we drew into the Trickster Taka. That's a card we want to install. Do we need to trash this? I think we don't. Pinhole Wanza. Wanza creds are on Breach. Okay, sick. All right, so that was a card for 2. We want to get this down. Unfortunately, this requires us to start running. Oh, we'll be okay. You think if you had access to the DB, you could query that? Yeah, you can't. You have to search them each manually. At least from what I've seen. All right, so are we worried about server 6? Like maybe it's a sting. There's no Regenesis going on. Again, those are 2 important cards. I will install them. We could die to Clearinghouse right here. Ronin also is a card I guess we're not playing around. Yeah, I guess we're not playing around Ronin. Running locally won't give you access to the DB though. Oh, like, yeah, it won't give you access to the whole deck list. So that probably was obvious. So now we can always run and like put a credit, like boost our after image to move the mantle or the smoke credit to Nemerkur to draw a card clicklessly. So we built our own dream net. It's a bit expensive. The worst white tree meta was IT department. White tree is R+, right? I never realized which one was white, which one is black. I've never called them that. I've always just said P and RP. One of them is replicating perfection, which 1 worlds. Very good ability. The other is personal evolution, which is nearly 1 worlds, which is the net damage one. What's our factor again? Yeah, Thanos, it's paperclip and we have it. Again, they could be on lockdown. Again, it's hard to make a read on this thing. Again, this is where you just play Stargate and jam it. White is replicating. Okay. Ah, mitosis again. All right, well, roll the dice. I'm like so uninterested in this archetype. All right, so we could take at worst 2. If there's a moon pool here, we could take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. There's no way around that. They'd have to have 2 agendas in hand. What's the worst case scenario if we don't do anything? Again, we can clicklessly draw, so we have 4 cards in hand in theory. If it's an Obokata, can we afford to steal it? Only sort of. They're playing Gene Splicer though, so it's like Regenesis Gene Splicer. I don't know. I feel like we're not making any smart decisions here. It's like, what do we do? 4 times Clearinghouse is the worst case. I think like Ronin Clearinghouse gets them there. Like if this is a Ronin, right? They do advance events hit us after doing Clearinghouse. Like we die to that no matter what. Like we have to run all the perfect things or run tech. And we don't have tech. So I think we're just going to be able to survive 4 net damage. So we'll run server 9. Here we're going to go boost this with her. We'll draw a card. Oh, they made that simpler, I think. Unless I'm in the mood to practice playing versus damage decks, I just concede right away. Yeah, I don't know if we can do that. It's an Urtica. Okay. Do we want to trash that? No. So what could this be? We've seen 2 Urticas so far, so the amount of traps lessens a bit. This is not first time a turn. Each run. So we could do draw, draw, run. Yeah, maybe we still die. I guess we could use the Taka, but we're not really in a rush to do that. This is going to be a... Oh, longevity. Nice. All right, we're doing okay. Yeah, draw 3 times then. Yeah. So we know 2 Urticas. That means the traps are now Cerebral Overriders or Clearinghouses. I think server 3 is a slower old Bacata. I don't know if they're on Neurospike, which is something hard to play around. And we only have 20 cards left. You don't like the mitosis archetype? I thought you were all about the Cambridge decks. They're kind of fun to play, but I don't find them really fun to play against. Especially not on JNet Casual, where I can't see the opponent. Like, so much of the bluffing is just, like, seeing their face. Oh, it's a Spin Doctor. But, like, for this, like, I don't know. If I'm playing against a friend, I think it's more fun. If I'm playing against a stranger, it's just, like, I'm just too aggro. New players don't know the pain of having to run Central, then the Ice and the Remote, then the Caprice side game, then the Nisei token. Oh, they know Anoetic, though. It's just about as much. So Influence, we've seen very little. We know they're obviously on Obokata. They're on Mitosis. And they're running also Splicers, which would, if we access when they're double advanced, that's like what? 2 damage. That's fine. Server 10. Right now, there isn't a ton of net damage tech either. Yeah, there's not a lot. You can play Caldera, but like, it's such a big meta call. I think we're going to run HQ and hit a snare. Gatekeeping Netrunner? Are we gatekeeping? Single advance. Single advance makes me like most interested in it because I don't know what single advance would be. I think we want a diesel here so that we can consider stealing an Obokata. Yeah, now we can just run anything. We have to use our Taka. Anakam's great. Yeah, Yoda, it's definitely great. It helps us, but it doesn't solve all our issues. It's better than Endurance. It's a data loop. Okay, that's why we had to have a lot of cards. Oh, what does this cost to break? 7? We can do it. So now we add 2 to the top. We'll add the 2 that we want to protect, I guess. So this will break for 3. We'll place the credit. We don't need more card draw here. Smoke is gatekeeping, gaslighting, girl boss. I don't know how to read that. Give us the oboe. Ah, it's an NGO. We've been rused. Okay. Now we have this many cards in hand. We can consider running HQ. I think there's agendas in there. Now the problem is if we steal Obokata, we'll be on 1 card. Now we can draw while running. We haven't seen an anemone yet. Let's just chill. I just want to play an old RP and HB against Noise and Andy. Yo, play Eternal, Mara. There's a tournament next weekend. I miss Ash. She could do some cool decks that could stand up to vote if they was still around. It's like Ash is super comparable. If you love Ash, you're gonna love Managarm. No, I was thinking that corporate troubleshooter would work. It doesn't really. But I think Ash and what's it called? And Managarm are like pretty comparable. Pinhole that upgrade on R&D. Eventually, we're in no rush to do it. Like we don't really want to run R&D yet. Here, I'd rather run HQ. It's been many turns. They haven't filtered, so there's agendas in there. But eventually, we'll pinhole it. If it's just a Hokusai, it's not often worth it because we just trade a card for a card anyways. Seems like the trick to playing against these shell game decks is mostly passive and just aggressive enough to get what you need. To some extent, yeah. Like, especially at some point when they're out of Spin Doctors and they run out of Mitoses, like there's only so many plays they can make. The board state changes pretty drastically based off of how many stings are scored and like how many of these could end up being like, we could lose to clearinghouses out of nowhere, Ronins out of nowhere. In theory, if they keep advancing these cards, like that's what they should be doing. It's just continue to advance this server 2 over and over again. Because at some point we just have to make the call. Is it a clearinghouse with 6 advancements or is it an Urtica that we die to? And eventually we can make the call. I think the right thing is just to commit to the table, as opposed to like swinging out more stuff. If I'm playing Eternal, it's going to be Harpsichord. Harpsichord's a good one. I think that's a good choice. All right, we'll run HQ. We can break everything. I play Eternal, but it's blisteringly fast. No room for Gia psychology. There's an Anansi. Okay, we deal with Anansi really well. So you don't want to bypass it. Their money is bad too, but I think server 2 is an NGO front. It's weird how it asks for that. Bypass, no. We'll take the damage. So we'll match and break using 1, 2, 3, 4. Place credit. Classiques are pretty fun. I played a ton of Noise versus Panic Plana this year. Man, I miss Noise. I would play Noise. Yeah, not too bad. Best you can ask for. All right, let's not hit a snare here. Hansei review. Bummer. All right, I do think that's an NGO. That's probably Rashida. We could consider chasing out the Spin Doctor. It's already going to bring 2 Mitosai back. I think we can just run the Spin Doctor at this point. They'll probably use it. I want to do that before like a Rashida, maybe. Break Hydra for 2? It doesn't break Hydra for... It bypasses Hydra for 2. Yeah, okay, you're not wrong. Yeah, it's good. And I think we can just click for credits. Like most of our money is going to be spent breaking ice, and we have, 3 recurring credits, 4 recurring credits to break ice. So I feel like at this point, we don't really have to have much more economy. You can deep dive this turn. Pincel, how's it going? I probably should have, honestly. No, the Hokusai might stop it. I think the Hokusai is the one issue. We have deep dive on top of the deck, so we could keep it. You're right. Actually, that's a really good play. Is that we keep the deep dive on top of the stack, and then when we're running archives, we pull it. I like that. We'll set that up for next turn. Might have been right to pinhole there. Forces the spin dock and trash something else. No, that's true too. That's interesting. Yeah, it forces the spin doctor if they want to protect it, and then we can always like hit the Hokusai. Yeah, that's interesting. I think those are lines of plays that like I'm not focusing enough on this to pick up, and I need to do better. Apologies. Yeah, the pinhole is really cool. Now you have to commit to access something. Worst case, we can access. Actually, I don't know. The upgrade, I guess. I think it's a reasonably viable one and leans only on Cipher and Rumor Mill a little. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to play Data Leak Reversal. I don't know if it's good enough for the format. Yo, Jeff, what would you call? What do you think is going to win the Eternal event? Do you think it's Ob? Do you think it's CI? Or do you think something more down to earth? All right. We know they have a Hansa in hand, probably an NGO front on the table. We know server 7, server 9, obviously. I had DLR in my Sunny's Beach Party deck back in the day. Oh, the really cool one, right? Where like you clear the tag clicklessly, get the tag clicklessly with like Jack and John Massanori, whatever it was. You think min-max is pretty decent? I love me some min-max. I think that's a DLR deck that Yusungren had. It was not like a Valencia deck. It was a max deck. Isn't Eternal combo just Siphon versus a combo versus Siphon spam? No, I don't think it's exactly that. I think it's actually quite different. You think Wizard? Whoa, cool. I guess that's because there is so much Estelle Moon, huh? Oh, you good. The other thing that I don't love about these net damage decks is like it totally changes the value of every card in your deck and how you want to play. And I think that's good that you have to reevaluate how you play. But I'm always frustrated when I build like a really interesting deck, a Baba Yaga deck, and then I go into the JNet casual lobby and I realize I'm not going to be able to install half my cards. Like that's what I'm complaining about to some extent. I don't think I'm correct, but you know what I mean? It is a RPS meta. That stands for rock, paper, scissors. Oh, third spin doctor. Okay, cool. So now they're going to have limited recursion. What did they shuffle back last time? NGO front and mitosis. I'm surprised it was an NGO front, honestly. I thought they'd do something that actually is a win condition. I guess maybe they need the money, but 100 card big hand Faust max? I don't even know if Faust is that good in Eternal. It probably is. Can you do mad HPT in Eternal? Very easy, Arizon. And I think that's the best oblists are like extra clicks. Yeah, it was an NGO front in server 3, so we don't know what server 2 is. But I think the mad HPT is like something you need tech for. Because you just biotic mad HPT. And specifically the ob lists are very good at resing everything. Or ob for Bass. Yeah, ob for Bass works really well too. Because you just have to get a 4-coster trashed. Yeah, the Q back special. Hansei review, okay. One unknown. Can't Regenesis us this turn. I wonder if they're on only 3-pointers and then Regenesis. All right, we'll check archives. It probably threatens a spin doctor too. Do we deep dive this turn? Yeah, why not? Start here. We're trying to threaten the spin doctor. Oh, Jeeves too. Yeah, Jeeves is really good with ob. Or sorry, with mutually assured destruction as a triple for sure. Oh, Malia off mad. That's so cool. Eternal is gonna be cool. Like it's gonna be nonsense. It's gonna be cool. That's the third spin doctor down. All right. So I guess we run R&D. Yeah. Yeah. Anemone here is a bit annoying. If the enemy hits, we actually end up drawing in the deep dive into hand, and then we can lose it to damage. If that's a Hokusai. If it's a Mwanza, I don't know. I guess we lose. I'm assuming it's not. What? Excuse me? What are you doing here? Did you get lost? Oh, wow. I was naughty. That was the last ice I would have called there. That's kind of neat. I wonder if they're on Trick of Light. Maybe that's why we should trash the Urtica. Hello. Okay. And we'll just use our credits here. You think it's a Queen Bee deck? Is this a bee card? Oh yeah, there's a beehive there. Uh-oh. Give me your Hokusai. Feed me. Love to steal an agenda here and deep dive out. I think we might have found a hole. Now, whoa! So that Analytic Void is in theory turning on the Regenesis at every point. Can we run back and force them out to spend 2 more cards? We're going to. I don't know what's happening, but I appreciate this now. This is now an interesting matchup. You can't continue to fire this. You think you're playing with Beekeeper? Like with Isabel? Card from deck, hedge fund. Okay, Anoetic, down. And then we're gonna run archives here just to make sure we don't get what's it called? Regenide. Don't you try. You threw out an Obakata. I'm not stealing it, I'm just flipping it. Cool. Interesting. The plot thickens. Okay, this deck is cool and I'm into Netrunner again. Oh man. If you fetch Jeeves with Mad, will he miss the timing? It kind of sounds like it would. I was waiting for the Ojumon. This is cool, yeah. Rashida, okay. So they're drawing a fair bit. Now we are pretty much set up to deep dive unless, you know, Anemone shows up or we hit a snare from Central. Because again, we can run archives and draw at last click. So we could win here. Again, we just went off of another Jumon. Even an Obakata will just num num num. We'll just eat it. We're surviving. I'm so surprised about that Anoetic. That seemed very expensive, and it threw out the Jumon. So throwing out the Jumon with the Anoetic was 100% they have a Regenesis somewhere on the table, right? Like there's no way that they don't. Because why would they throw out the Jumon? So that means one of these triple advanced cards or double advanced cards, that means server 2 or server 11 is a Regenesis. Now we can allow them to score out their garbage Regenesis as long as there's not a face down card in archives that wasn't added that turn. So like, I think we have a read. I just don't think we have to take that risk because if they score a 3-1, whatever, it's like trivial for us to run archives. In fact, that's the thing that I don't understand with Regenesis decks is like Restoring Humanity is one of the archetype that I'm most likely to want to check archives. So I don't know. Spraying for Anoetic into Moonpool in your last click run. Oh, like they could rescue with Moonpool? Yeah, they could. It's still pretty expensive though. But yeah, I think you're right. There could be server 11, could be a Moonpool. And Moonpool has some text on it that's like pretty hard to understand. Maybe there'll be more support in the next half set. For Regenesis? Did someone say jamon? It's ham in Spanish. The ham tickens. Pinhole archives to check for the Regenesis and draw deep dive at the same time. We don't have to play the event though. We can just like draw with a Nemriker. So I don't want to play the pinhole for fun because then we have to actually access one of these cards. And if one of them is a trap, he's bad. We can always just like boost our breaker and draw with Nemriker. So we don't have to do anything cute. All right, they just drew 4 cards and they're not happy with what they found yet. Hedge fund, okay. It's good. Excuse. I'd really like to deep dive a win. 1 click left. Edge of the seat. I'm kind of excited to see how this goes. No, ice, come on. Now we don't have a lot of money, but we actually have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have to spend our money. Let's just start with R&D because we want to figure out if this is what's it called sooner than later, an anemone, which again is another really good target if you're trying to Regenesis some nonsense. Hit me. You miss a deep dive with the rip-off R&D? Yeah, maybe. Oh, we can deal with that. I think. I'm pretty sure. No, thank you. All right, so we have to do match the strength. So we'll do 1, 2. We'll place a credit. So we'll break for 2. I didn't know math here. I think we have enough credits. Do we have enough credits even? Funny enough, advancing this would be a nightmare. Okay, so we're gonna get a single axis here. If we steal an agenda here, we'll actually have more credits. Oh, we could have spent our credits so we don't break that subroutine. Can we lose money from the net recur? No, we can't, right? We're geniuses. We're so smart. Haha, we're safe, I think. Fucking, come on. Really? Really? Deep dive is so bad. You hate to see it. Okay, whatever. Yeah, you have Regenesis on the table. Yeah, okay, accesses work. But I have no doubt there's Regenesis on the table, and that's why they're playing Anoetic. Like, they're gonna play every card that trashes stuff. Yeah, that tracks. I honestly think this archetype would be better in PE. Just because, again, we're less likely to check archives on every board state. On just about every board state here, we would check archives because we don't want to flip. You wanted the Mitosis, Mess in the Chesvo, and then shuffle with Thimberlig? That's great. So they wanted Mitosis at Mess in Chesvo to get 3 advancements on it? I honestly think that would be worse than a Ket. Because this deck is not very good at taxing out, what's it called? Credits, but it's much better at taxing out advancements. So they can always get the Ket out. Yeah, so this could be a Mitosis with 2 counters on it, not 3. And then they can move that around. I do think a Ket might be better. Just because advancements are more threatening than this. This is taxing, though. I really hope next set has a way to poison archives because it kind of sustains the ID and Regenesis kind of sucks. Yeah, I think everyone wanted something to poison this with. Hey, thanks for the game. Oh, they're gone. Would we have been better with Boat here? Honestly, we probably couldn't afford it. I like this. Runner. What are we doing? It's 11:07? Yeah, we're good. How's everyone's evening been? How y'all doing? Hey, Burden. Let's go. Could have been anything else. Burden. Who is watching? They all say that. Best of luck. Have fun. Okay, opening hand. This could just be Anoetic and good stuff. We have early economy, early card draw, self-modifying code for panic, net recur for value. This is good to get down early if you are running and you have a breaker to boost stealth into. We don't exactly. Maybe with Diesel we will, but we can definitely keep this hand. Onacom definitely good too. We're hoping not to take a lot of net damage, but it does help. And again, it just allows us to get through our deck. Don't have Space Camp. Let us Sting. In startup, you have like Cyberdex, Fire Suite, or I guess I'm a virus into Sandbox, but yeah, there's not a lot. I chose not to queue with Jinteki. Alright, did they mull? They keep. Hansei. 1 face down in archives. Is it worth denying? Maybe. Not necessarily, but maybe. Okay. So, do we need to deny them 1 credit? Is it costing us a click? Yeah, we don't want to do that. So we're going to install the telework. I think we're going to hit the telework. The other options get the SMC down. I don't think we're really going to need to click 1 because we need our stealth credits to break just about anything meaningful. Anansi's the big outlier. So I think we hit this once and then hit this and then we're good. And next turn we can consider just piecing our timing. Again, I don't know in which matchups this is worth playing and which it isn't. The idea is that if we have more money than them, we break their ice faster and more efficient than they res it. Spin Doctor, though, now we really would consider running archives. But they're going to get another credit off that Hansei. All right, remote server push. No pinhole yet. A single advancement or an unadvanced card I don't think is too worrisome. I think we would consider running the Spin Doctor here. Yeah, I don't see why not. They might let us have it. I think that's fine. Do we draw up once here? I don't know. Are we like, how quickly do we have to put on the table that we could do SMC, net recur, and then pull a breaker just to get our value engine? I don't think that is worth doing. We can just draw once. Okay. So we can trash this, we can hit the telework, and we can hit the creative commission, whatever. I guess if we do anything, we'd SMC and then overclock. They're gonna let us have this. We're gonna need some money. With the overclock, we're probably overcompensating because we can always just overclock SMC into the remote server, and we'll have 2 stealth credits with smoke and Netrunner. Let's see, not Rashida, they're just drawing, so probably an Anoetic Void setup. So we're gonna need, or even a Lacosta setup, so we're definitely gonna need a pinhole sooner than later. I had Pharos in hand to Mitosis, and the shuffle on the remote with the Thimble Rig, but the Thimble Rigs never came. Pharaohs. Yeah, I think Aked. Good game, by the way. I think Aked is the one I'd actually really like in that archetype. All right, single advance there makes it scary. Any 4-2 is pretty good. Nemiker really is just good for smoke, isn't she? Like auto include levels of good. Yeah, totally. Most cards that have the character on them fall into that. But yes, Nemiker is like essential. A lot of decks were running 3 because you wanted early. I think it's a bit different now. No idea what this clown card is. Anoetic Managar makes a lot of sense. We could force a res here. I'm assuming this might be cheap and low to the ground. Again, we have no access to Stargate, which could punish this. They're getting credit a turn, which I think we actually do want to consider. Let's draw into a breaker. Perfect. Running last click, if it's archives. So we'll boost here. Oh, draw a card to credit. I think we do draw a card. We have the pinhole. They threw it an NGO. Wow. Okay, so they must have something a bit more aggressive there. I think it's a Lacosta. There you go. Lacosta res. Rashida. So they're going to advance a Biovault? That's scary. Luckily, we do have the pinhole threading, so we can deal with the Biovault. Again, this has to be an upgrade. Good night, Sangren. Subliminal. Okay, so that's a really good card. Again, we're going to run once a turn anyways because of our value engine. So now we can either pinhole threading the Lacosta or pinhole threading the... Okay, now we can't. So I still think we just pinhole threading the Biovault. It's going to cost us 2 to trash. This is a 3 credit play. We do get to draw a card. Do we need to draw cards? I think we do. This also turns off their this. So we're not going to run this turn, right? So we can... I think we need to draw a card. That's not great. Oh, whoops. That is interesting. Wait, I did that wrong. Can I... So they popped the Biovault, and that's really fascinating because we have a choice to either to trash the Lacosta or the Biovault. If we trash the Lacosta, they can't score out of 4-2, so it buys us a turn. But if we have to trash the Biovault, it costs us 2 more credits. So I think it's actually probably wrong to fire that. They can fire it now, though. Do you want to fire it before I boost? Oh, actually, we have the first paid ability window, so they can't. Yeah, because it's our turn, right? We had to draw a card, right? Yeah. Okay, all good. Yeah, I just didn't pay for it, so we took the credit to our pocket. Yeah, I think they'd rather have us pay 2 credits for that. Now we're not very good at contesting the remote server. Again, we have no stealth credits. We can SMC for a mantle. I think we have to set up a bit aggressively here. Ooh, deep dive is an option. I think we can draw once more, or it's either draw once more or hit the telework. We can definitely throw out the Netrunner. So we're gonna definitely hit the telework once. The question is, what do we do with our last click? SMC means we can overclock and start charging the remote server. If they score out and get like a Nisei token, we're in a bad spot. This is a bit faster than how fast we can go probably. If we draw, we can throw out 2 cards. I don't know if we want a piece in our time. Their economy is not very strong. I don't think we do. I think we just need to draw. All right, Penrose is a breaker. We have to install that. So we'll throw this out, and I think we'll throw that out. All right, let's see what this is. We might actually could just lose our whole hand if this is like a viral weaponization. We end up losing like our Penrose. That's a problem. Offworld? Yeah, offworld. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna run R&D. I think we're gonna install the Penrose first to just like give some amount of respect to what's it called? To Snare. We are gonna have to start accruing counters here because these are both stealth hungry cards and we don't have a mantle yet. Not that we can't get one. So we're gonna go boost here and we're just gonna get a credit. Sick. Okay, that's obviously good. They're going to score 2 of these into an Obokade. Or maybe food. They could be on food. So what do we want to do here? Hitting the top card of R&D is not that good. We've already got our run engine. So we need to set up to make sure we don't lose to the remote server. So that includes getting our paperclip or SMC overclock. So we want to draw once. And then the mantle is definitely good. Is it worth installing this turn when we don't get value from it? Doesn't really change much. It means we can run twice to gain a credit. It's better than gaining a credit. We could just show the SMC, but then we can't install the mantle. I'm just going to install the mantle. That's actually bad if we need SMC for the paperclip. I think I regret that. Yeah, that kind of been right. What SMC targets do we have that make a second to keep? We don't need to keep the second. We need to get a paperclip. We need to get a mantle. I think that's mostly it. But I think we need to be drawing a bit more. So we could have drawn and discarded that for sure. Ice up everything. Okay. We'll run, not HQ actually, maybe server 2. If we lose the deep dive, we lose the deep dive. So if they have an agenda, they probably jam it here. So I don't think we can run HQ. Running RD is a possibility. I think we can run server 2. They could res a Chiashi. We'd lose our hand. That's fine. It cost them almost all their money. Magnet, just annoying enough. So match strength the magnet. Again, I think we need the credits here. Then we'll just break for a regular credit. Because we want to keep stealth credits for anything else we have to deal with. We also want to see what the remote server is so we know what we have to deal with. We're looking to trash a Rashida. Shrink that a bit. Res or no res? I guess that was on me. I should have hit that, I guess. It's a Palisade. You win this one. So this is just a rushy deck. So they're just going to run all the mid-range and the runs. So this is where installing the mantle was wrong because, and maybe we should have used that because now we can't do SMC paperclip. Feels bad, man. That could easily be an agenda. Yeah, I think installing the mantles might cost us a heck of a lot here. Now we can run HQ. We're probably not going to end up spending real credits. So we could draw a card for free. Yeah, we should run HQ here, force a res, because we can always like pop the mantle. Actually, running R&D is probably better. They did ice up HQ sooner in the game than anything else, if I'm not mistaken. So that's probably because they had this agenda, and this might be the second one. But we want to get the card draw here, because ideally we're using the mantle for value. So we're getting a card draw and an access where we would have just clicked to draw. That's the way I see it, at least. So here we're going to go take a credit, draw a card. Nice. Seamless. Oh, okay, that's going really fast. So this is a super rush deck. That's obnoxious. We're a bit slower than that. Okay, so we need a draw. Again, we could reinstall a Penrose with Simulchip. That's a thing we've lost now that we cut the Simulchips. We got to spend the stealth on the mantle. Did we not mess it up? Got a pump? Oh, yeah, you're right. I messed it up. Got a pump. Yeah, true. Yeah, we cheated credit. I've done that before. It's good to shout that out. I think we're going to have to lose the mantle. We're going to have to SMC overclock this remote server. So, yeah, installing the mantle was way wrong. We'll just get the money, I guess. Now, if they do score out here, oh, it's Rashida. Fantastic. Okay, so we know they're going to have unknowns. We know we can contest this remote server we need to. We probably have access to deep dive. Their ice is probably going to be around 3 to 4 credits max. Maybe they're running like an awkward macrophage. That would make sense. Anoetic here is pretty scary. It could be also just a Biovault, but I think we're going to have to run that. The question is, I think we just do SMC trash overclock. Like, I think we lose this mantle. Consider over-installing the mantle for the SMC. Yeah, I think we're going to do. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Jeremy, how's it going? So now we're going to server 2. I think we're going to want to conserve credits here. Card draw, like, we're kind of actually set up. If we have our paperclip and our deep dive, we're in a good spot. It's just the twinning that we're missing. So Magnet's really well positioned here. We'll place a credit. Break. I forgot we were on twinning. So we're going to see a Manic-Arm we can click through. If it's Anoetic, it's an Anoetic. What can we do? What pinhole is what we can do. So here we'll trash this. Paperclip. It's good enough. 3. We want to conserve these stealth credits because we're going to need them to break magnets and Anansis if we find them. There's an Anoetic. Okay. At least they're going to pay for this a bit. And if we end up trashing the Costa, like, they still have Seamless in hand. So, like, yeah, it's all about the pinholes here. We just can't put on enough central pressure soon enough, I don't think. The chance of them drawing 2 agendas, because they did Rashida, is like not 0. We don't have stealth to boost. We could use boost with the Nemerker, so we could consider like dirty laundering HQ here. We'll have enough money. We died a snare, actually. Maybe that's a bit rough. Probably shouldn't take this. How many pinholes? We're on 2. We've seen 1. There's a Saisenton. Okay, so that's actually expensive enough. Okay, so continuing encounter. Let's see what they call. We have to break it anyways. Oh, we can bypass it. Yeah, it's cheaper. So do we draw a card or get any credit? I think we're going to draw a card so we don't die to snare. Beth is worth installing. Ooh, very much good. Very good, yes, much. Again, they did burst draw there. So now if they have Obokata, which I think they're more likely to be on food, we actually can win with the deep dive. If we install Beth, they're likely to do a off-world, more likely a Nisei actually, considering we've seen 2 off-worlds. And their economy did look pretty good. We can also check archives. Not amazing. I don't know if we install this Beth. Next turn, we're very likely to get only a credit off the Beth. I don't think that's worth it. I think we'd rather draw through a deck. Yeah, like this credit commission might give us more value. Let's see what they score out here. Wow, 3rd off-world. Okay, they drew all of them. So their money was good. The Beth actually would have been worth installing. I was banking that not being the off-world because we've seen 2 of them. All right, we can just run R&D again. We have to keep drawing through our deck. We need to lock the top of the deck because if they draw agendas, it's unlikely. Again, we've gone through only half the deck. We've seen 2, 4, 6, 8 points. That's kind of what you'd assume. You can boost here to avoid snare. Yeah, that's what we ended up doing. We can always boost a draw. Excuse me. I think I bounced right into the microphone. Oh, so sorry. Yeah, we need our pinhole, so we're going to continue drawing with this Netrunner. Admittedly, actually, we need to make sure we have stealth. Oh, that's fine. Are we going to be running anything else this turn? I don't think so. That's the influence. So I think we just break this with regular credits. No, we'll use 1 smoke just to get this. We'll draw a card. Overclock's nice. Still has some issues. Single. Subliminal. Oh, we should run archives actually. We have 2 stealth credits. We will run archives. I don't think they threw out agendas. Is denying them credits here that important? No, because I don't think it's going to be bad credits. If they get a 3rd ice here, yeah, maybe. At this point, I feel like we're going to just like lost fallacy, whatever it's called, to the Beth. Like we're never going to install the Beth because it would have been better the turn prior. What's it called? That fallacy. You know which one. You know the one. We've all been there. All right. Let's draw. We could have deep dive there. Sunk cost, that's the one. Thank you. This is perfect. That's a credit turn. Then we'll have money. Okay, so we're set up. So now we want to do a deep dive. Unfortunately, we have to run R&D first. That's actually not that bad because we want to run R&D first click, and then they probably won't border control that. They're drawing, so they don't have the agenda in hand yet. If they get a Biovault down too, then we can't deep dive that easily. Missed sale. Is that it? I like that one. 2nd ice on R&D. Okay. And now we're getting 2 stealth credits a turn plus Netrunner per run. Very, very good. And again, hedge fund, they have 15 credits. We have run. Let's start running. Let's see what we got. DNA tracker. Yikes. Don't let that fire. So we need 2 stealth credits. We're going to break all those. That's a bit expensive. So we want to keep our credits on the Netrunner as much as possible. Can we give them 2 credits here? I don't think we want to. So we can't deep dive this turn. Okay. All right. Let's go. Ooh, oof. Nice. I thought they'd be on food because they're like very jammy, and then we have to steal 3 agendas. As soon as you're playing an Obokata, like we can win on 3. And while we did see some ice that did more net damage, so that kind of makes sense. We didn't see like Hokusai's, we didn't see Anemone, so I was a bit surprised. But I think food makes a lot of sense. Oh, I believe it. Whenever you want to deep dive, we couldn't afford to deep dive that turn. But he also saw like we were breaking this ice relatively cheaply. Like DNA tracker for 5 is actually not great, so never mind. Yeah, 15 influence. How good is Restoring Humanity compared to any of the other Jintekis? It's probably fine. You could play Ag Infusion. People would be more upset. I hate Obo though, so I should maybe try it. Yeah, it works really well. But if you have spiky ice, it's not the worst. Yeah, so we saw 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 agenda points, and we've gone through more than half the deck. So that's what we'd expect. I think that's what we expect. I don't think there's anything in archives at U2. Yeah, we got lucky there. Accesses. We didn't access a lot of cards, and like we ripped them pretty good. We had one run on HQ where we thought they drew a lot. We got, I think, a bit lucky there. There's no more. There's no way there's more than one agenda. They would have jammed it that turn. But yeah, you see how good the pinhole threadings are, especially against that. That was really fast though. Go ahead, Anna. Love how friendly and acknowledgeable you are. Knowledgeable. Have a great night. Hey, Lily, appreciate it. It was very kind. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and thanks for the kind words. We're around on the weekend too. We're gonna be streaming on Sunday. All right, it's 11:24. Let us try Oberb's version, which is slightly different. We have the DJ Fenris, we have the Endurance. Let's see how different that is. Otherwise, it's largely the same. Is my camera making me redder than I am? I feel like it is. You're quite knowledgeable. You know when to give up on APOC? Cat, that whole game was me drawing for my mad dash. I was like, I have one mad dash and I bottomed it with class act. So I think we talked about this, but there was like a turn where I like boomeranged the magnet just for jokes to shuffle. Yeah. Cool to see you running it, Jeremy. Yeah, there was a deck list that was one Vancouver circuit opener, and it's like one of the archetypes that I wanted to play for the last couple weeks after Worlds, because it's, again, not Endurance. Not that we're playing Endurance now, we are, but yeah, I think Smoke is fun. Smoke is also like a deck that I haven't played enough, and I know there's like I was gonna say try hard, but I meant to say die hard Smoke fans that have been playing Smoke for such a long time. We're on 42 in this one. What's going on with Smoke modernly? Is that like a net damage tech? I knew that Smoke deck had inevitability, so I had to play fast. Oh, for sure. I thought you were like a very fast deck. The playstyle actually seemed to suit what you had there. I think you got a bit unlucky on the singles for sure. Like we did no multi-axis and somehow got enough points. Good game, by the way. Were you ever APOC Cat that day? Hey, it's Steven. Oh, okay, Steven. Oh, I've seen this one. So Steven posted his deck list, which is like 90% win rate on Jinteki on that casual, and it's like a poisonous prison NBN deck. We are going to scoop because we are inherently 100% reliant on our resources. So if there is what's it called sticking, Drago, we just lose, and we don't have any no free lunch in the deck, so it's kind of just a nightmare. So I don't know what we can do about that. You got misdirection, you're golden. I do have some valuable resources. I don't know. I feel like the prison NBN decks in the JNet casual lobby, like I think you're going to have a massive win rate just because it's a very easy deck to misplay into. And I think it's a deck that people don't want to play into. So I don't think they play like that tight. It's kind of similar to JNet casual. So like, I don't know, like it's probably a good deck, but like, I'm not surprised by those results, right? We went undefeated on the corp. Well done. How did the rest of the team do? Because I know I really wanted to see what Jonas's what's it called his Atom deck looks like. You got second overall. Only no, that's really good. I can ask him. Yeah, I wanted to see it because I saw it was like on Fem and all that. Yeah, it looked really interesting. I didn't also see what Scry was playing. I think it was close. It wasn't. He definitely wasn't playing what he was playing at Worlds. Almost no one does that. Okay, so Reality Plus tags, great. Unfortunately, the Data Raven is now a Codegate Funhouse, no surprise, so we're not gonna be able to bypass it. Let's just get some money. We need to be able to contest the remote server as soon as possible, because if a Drago sticks, we lose. So he didn't want to share his Atom deck because Logic Bomb Rex Ag Infusion deck. Oh, that tracks. This guy was on Hoshipko, and he was the HB player? Yeah, he must have been HB, because I'm pretty sure Jonas was on op. Okay, can we run? Let's draw up. Mad Dash Archives. PD with fast events. Okay, that tracks. I'd rather run the Spin Doctor than run Archives. I think we can consider running Archives. This is a nightmare matchup again, where there's only 6 agendas, I think. Flood here. It kind of looks like Flood. Did Steven keep? Did he keep? He keeps, so I don't know if it's Flood. We can check Archives. What's the rest of our turn? Like install SMC creative? It's not amazing. We probably draw instead of the SMC. Because again, we're an Endurance deck. We need to get Endurance down before making these accesses. But it's also a hard-hitting news deck. I think the deck's on 2. So we want to make sure we're keeping our money up at the same time. Is Beth better than creative? I'm not sure if he's on economics, so I'm going to say no. We all play decks we're not actually going to run at Worlds. Nobody plays their Worlds deck at at servers. Second spin dock. What's going on here? We're drawing for market forces real hard, huh? I think actually we probably committed to the Trickster Taka a bit too soon. Now we can always just run and like boost the Penrose. This deck has like surprisingly few end the runs. We have to run this. Like we just have to run this. And again, we don't have any like tech. You played him. He played Hoshipko on PD. Oh, D, how's it going? All right, you can draw once. We just have to run this. It'll be like a mouseless or like a fun house, or the sentries are annoying too. It's a fun house. Like we just have to do it. Like if we install this, no, we just take a tag. We take two. Like I want to get off of the funhouse ride. I don't. SMC run I don't think makes a lot of sense, because if it's a sentry, we can't really do much. It's like way too expensive. Like this is why you play boat, to play 8 credits so you can just check into things. But like if that is a Drago, it's not GG, but it's nearly GG. Like we have to draw the 2 pinhole, but we can't go through this and take 2 tags. It's our whole turn. Is it in the pronunciation that ob is pronounced up? No, it's pronounced up. There's a bunch of pronunciation that comes in the guide that people do slightly wrong from my understanding. So like up is up, like OP. Azef is Azief with a Z kind of in the middle of it. Yeah. I'm not saying it perfectly either. I have an ability to speak with a Slavic enough accent. I have passable Slovenian, which is close enough to Russian as a Slavic language, but I cannot read like Cyrillic, let alone I don't know how to pronounce a lot of Russian words. All right, we get the SMC down. We can install the daily cast. Maybe they like self-growth program 2 cards. Like that's pretty bad. So I don't know if we want to install a card. Like I don't know what to do here. Like market force is bad, self-growth is bad. Like we just have to draw into our, what's it called? Into our pinhole. Like I think we throw out the daily cast. We just cannot play resources. That's probably wrong. Afterwards, we compared Hoshipko tech. It was very nice. Oh, super cool. I reverse engineered it and played test games the day before Worlds. Planogram for 3. So that's probably why you don't run real decks at the team tournament. Scryo was jet lagged and asked me at 5:30 about Hoshipko slots. And wait early for that. If you think SGP, don't install daily cast. Yeah. If we think it's self-growth, we're not installing the cast. I threw it out. I don't know if that's entirely right. Hold on. Did we just Google his deck? He published the deck. What upgrade is in the deck? Okay, we have to find this deck list. Deck lists, search close to La Roche. Search Reality Plus. This is not scummy. This is legal tactic. The Scourge of Jaina Casual 24-1 about to be 25-1. Okay, it's price hack. Great. We know it's a price hack. Okay, cool. Solved. Market research. The NBN way. All right, so that's worse. We have to run with our breaker. Hold on, we should know the ice too. Ice is border control. So actually way more end the runs we think. Turnpike is the annoying face check. So it's just Turnpike face check. We run centrals. And it actually has a couple more agendas than we think it would. Let's go Haku. This is so neat. John C, how's it going? IP block. Huh. Trickster Taka is going to be an issue. Unless we shuffle Trickster Taka in to Degree Mill. I think I've solved, it's another Degree Mill. Oh, it has real agendas. Interesting. Trip into your memory palace. That's largely what it is. IP block, okay. Hope that wasn't an offensive question. No, it's not offensive at all. How would it be offensive? Okay, I'm going to spend all our money on this. This is not something that you probably should do. This bypass is actually like very credit positive. But spending 7 credits, getting, oh, fantastic. Wow, it's very good. Very good. Now, if we deep dive, wait, there's no Drago on this list? Oh, brilliant. Stoppable. So smart. Huge. So it's all about economic war for hard-hitting news. Now, if we deep dive, we shuffle the hard-hitting news away. The issues we're going to get economic warfare, potentially. So being at 7 is good and probably better than being at 9. Because if we're at 9, they can drop us to 1. If we're at 7, we can drop to 3. With 3 credits, he can't really score out an agenda. He can get a Rashida. Do we run and then do deep dive? That would drop us down to 5 credits. I don't know, y'all. What do you think? There's no self-growth program, is there? There's no, it's just hard-hitting news. Our daily cast, it's in the toilet. Go get it. Thank you so much for your content. I'm excited to play my first game of SG tomorrow. Yo, John, let us know how it goes. System Gateway is a slapper of a experience. Yeah, I didn't read the deck list. I read it weeks ago when he published it. And then I was salty about the JNet casual environment, having to play with Reality Plus all the time. I don't want to click for credits because it plays into economic warfare too hard. Not because it's a good play, because you want to see it happen. Like, Janktivist, I'm with you there. But also, like, close says 24-1. So I want to make it 24-2 so bad. If we install Beth, no, it's really bad. I'm going to draw SMC. Like, we're not going to click to 8 because of economic warfare. And Rashid is going to draw like 300 of them. Deep dive? No, Dan, nice try. I'm not doing it. I can be peer pressured to an extent. This is the extent. The extent is 24-1. Okay? Credit. Economic hard hitting. Fantastic. Shit. We did our math poorly. Should have clicked for a credit there, huh? All right, well, we have all of the tags. We have misdirection, though. Using programs during runs. We can't do that. So misdirection costs us way too much money. So this is what we do. We overclock archives. In theory, we can overclock Spin Doctor. That's smarter. Because we have priority. He says, having done none of the math. Oh, hold on. No, you can't. You must wait. You must wait here, my friend. Okay. You can use Taka to pay for the SMC? I have made some mistakes. Why did I draw a card? Wait, what? Oh, I was clicking abilities. And you eat the yard. So I drew a card. I still don't think we have the money to fix this, though. Like, we're just going to lose here. We're like 1 credit short because I didn't click for a credit to play around double economic warfare like a champion. How do you fix this? Because we lose to boom as soon as, like, next click. Do you have some regrets? No, I don't. Please don't encourage him. Yeah. Mind if I undo that? Even if we get the take back, though, like, we can't clear it. We're 1 click short. We clear 3 tags. Like, that's the best we got. Can't you Taka for misdirection? No, Taka's only during runs, so we can't. Oh, I'll just undo click. Thank you. Do that old shuffle. So now we just click and clear 3 tags. So we don't die to boom. Still bad. Yeah, 3's fine. Boom, mind you, is 2 tags to take 7. Rip 7 to return like. Yeah, that'll do it. Now it's not Rashid in server 3, so I don't know what it is. Here we're drawing for a planogram. We also did run, so like we can get hard hitting news the second time. Let's go over here and do some market research. 2. Okay, so I think price X is actually the scary thing here. So that's a double price X server. That's always good to know. So funny enough, it's in our best interest to run R&D and take a tag. And then we clear the tag with Trickster Taka. Wait, actually, how nonsense is that? I want to get more value out of misdirection, so I want to take 2 tags. Am I wrong? Because no matter what, it's going to be a click and 2 credits, so it might as well be 2 clicks and 2 credits, and we get an access. I feel like this is rotten brain thinking. That feels bad. But if we run R&D, blind mad dash for extra value, that I'm in on. Can't use a Taka outside a run, but we can't use the Taka with the misdirection during a run. So it doesn't really change Taka. It's just like I want to get the most value out of my misdirection. The other option is like the mad dash server 3, but then no, price X is a nightmare. Actually, no, because the tag gives them value. No, don't do that. Don't do that, Andre. Taka needs to go into the trash? No. Janktivist, I'm a Taka believer. Just clear and chill? No. They have one more hard-hitting news. They don't have it. I don't think you can use misdirection during a run. No, you cannot. But I was just trying to get the tag, not to use it during a run. How's it going, by the way, George? This is not smart, but also I'm a sucker for value. This little fox. We probably should have boosted twice, actually. Oh. Okay, they can draw into the next hard hitting. It's unlikely. We can't get economic, though. Spin Doctor first. Sick. So now there's 2 economics, hard hitting. So if we get hard hitting now, remember we didn't click for credit at a point because we were very clever. We probably shouldn't have like been that smart about it. Please don't have a hard hitting. I wonder if the way that people play against this deck because they're so scared of Drago makes it conducive to land a hard hitting news. Yeah, I don't think so. Those decks run hard hitting news anyways. There's no hard hitting here. Safe. Unfortunately, our Tixter Taka is going to kill us now. We would play a piece in our time if we could. We don't have one. All right, so we can run R&D for free and bypass. That's kind of cool. Oh, we should have taken Claw out of the list. They don't have an agenda. All right, if we see our hard-hitting news here, like we're obviously playing on borrowed money, or borrowed time, whatever the. We should have boosted twice last turn with Taka, so we don't have to make this horrible run. At least that doesn't do anything. So they didn't have the hard-hitting news last turn, so they probably won't have it this turn. They're drawing an economic, which is a dead card. We're gonna need an Emmerker. Card in server 3, advance. Second ice. Okay, let's again read the 24-1. So the ice is probably a barrier. That's an issue. And the agenda is probably an off-world office. Or a headline actually could be a nightmare. Okay, back in it. Again, that's double price hack. Like, how do you interact with double price hack? Like the fire? Is price hack slept on? Price hack seems like just pretty good. Like, it's hard to deal with this. We have to win off centrals. And again, we're not a Stargate deck, so. Dirty laundry. Wow. How? I think we can guess that this is an off-world office, so we'll install the Beth. That's our guess. We are smart, and we are rewarded by a card draw a card that we can't afford. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Now we have to run again with Taka. Probably should have trashed Taka a while ago, huh? You can't use this to trace the IP block. We could jam the Penrose. Credit, Penrose, run HQ. This has never been a punish. This Taka is having more control over us than their ID ability. So Penrose breaks barriers. The turn is installed. Now they have an economic warfare in hand, so having no credits is the perfect crime. Excuse me? I don't want to. We overpaid there. Counter credit 1. Sick agenda rip. It'll be the economic warfare we know. Oh, never mind. We're good. Cool. Taka is getting more powerful. Okay, so still predict the planogram. This is where they find the hard-hitting news and we pay for all of our incursions. Just overpay so you can now run longer. To some extent, yeah. They have the hard-hitting now? No, they don't. They advance. Okay, so we can. Now we're not be able to deal with barriers. Okay, but like we're at the point that we could consider mad dashing this and just floating the price tag tags. We haven't seen a boom yet. Oh, telework is perfect. Beth, you're the best. We have to run again? Yeah, Taka, you've done so much for us. Okay, what can we run into that would be bad? No, you don't check the business. No, we have to. Let Fox, no, Fox lives forever. Turnpike, we can deal with fun houses and end the run. Ping is a problem. Okay, so we can't run into ping last click. Yeah, it goes down. This game feels like a 1v2 and it's quite entertaining. Bumble, how's it going? Nice. Beth. Nice. We're back in it. Laundry archives. It's way too risky. If it's what's it called? Any barrier, border control, we're done. If it's funhouse, we're done. If it's I can keep going. If it's a ping, we're very done. So we now need to transition into anything. They have enough money that we can't trace the IP block. So what do we have to get down here? Poor Fox, she did nothing wrong. Well, she knows what she did. We'll draw up once. We have a Fenris. We could run HQ with Fenris. Fenris also, we can make it Fenris into Quetzal, and I wouldn't be too upset about it. We want to get the paperclip in the bin. I think we draw up once more. Okay, dirty laundries are really awkward. If we get paperclip in the bin, it's a bit better. Taco would have been so good if we got the paperclip in the bin and we could get it on the table. I honestly think we Fenris for Taco and dirty laundry HQ. Our Fenris for, yeah, I'm doing it. Quetzal, let's go. We need this. We know there's economic in hand. Now we can break one barrier subroutine. Hey, Juan, how's it going? Bold? Kind of, yeah. So we'll use Quetzal, we'll break this. We're through. Planogram, okay. So now economic gets us down to 3, which is a bit of a bummer. We didn't discard our paperclip, which is also a bummer, but now we can run the remote server. Finally happy to catch the end of a stream live. Hey, welcome. That is a winning Bologna. So we have a big fork here, don't we? So we're going to have to go take a lot of tags, but we're going to be able to clear all the tags. So the question is, what is this outermost ice? We're thinking it's most likely a border control. If it's a border control, we're going to have to take an absurd amount of tags here because the funhouse is going to be 2 tags. We could break it once if we really wanted to. And then we have to go through it again. That's 2 more tags. And then we hit Prisec, and then this. So if that is the case, we have 1 run on HQ to trash the boom. I think we obviously have to run this. In terms of advanceables, it's like only Bologna or a Bologna or another agenda. Like it could be a 15 minutes, which this would be actually a pretty sick play, honestly. But we have to go through here. The question is whether we have time for the paperclip. Are they running NG or no? They're not. The other thing is if we go in sooner than later, if we run first click and run second click, especially if we use no credits, we can probably clear all the tags with Penrose. We have to largely use no clicks here. I think we're just going to run and then we'll figure out what to do after a border control. Can you even steal Bologna? Yeah, we're going to spend no credits on this. Like this is all free. Oh, cat's all that. Whoops. Somehow we went through that. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so we'll Quetzal this one. So now they can draw 2 credits, or 2 cards or gain 2 credits. We don't need Clippy for any of their ice. Technically, no, but only once per turn. And if we're tagged, still no. Yeah, but if we're tagged, I don't think Quetzal is going to last. Oh, sorry, 1 more tag. So we'll access the Bologna first. Nice. Then we take all the Prisec, which is meat damage. Hopefully it hits the paperclip. Hits the mad dash. That sort of matters. So it's the second Prisec. So now we have 4 tags, so we can clear it. We're on game point. We lost our mad dash, or sorry, a deep dive. Hate to see it. But they drew a lot, so like running HQ is reasonable. We know the remote server is something we can deal with. Second ice on HQ, they definitely drew into agendas, and now they probably need to do double ice on it. Sorry, like double barriers on HQ to keep us out. Now, if they don't double advance, we're never scared of losing. Hard-hitting news here. Okay, we're a bit scared of losing, but we can still clear it. We do this, and then clear all. Funny, they hit only cards that you needed. Yeah, I know. Like literally, yeah. Perfectly exactly the cards we needed. All right, so we're tagged 4 times. They get 2 credits or 2 cards. Deep dive's always the first to go. We've been like struggling to deep dive, but that's because we've been winning sooner. So it's a daily quest. Okay, cool. So we install the telework. we can hit the telework, we'll be on 3, and then we can clear 3 tags again. We're going to lose our board state, but we're not going to lose our pride. And we're not going to lose our life to flatline boom. So now they can get, 7 credits. They can actually wipe our board. But now we're running like the fine line. I think the list is on 2 booms. Yes. We know they have an economic in hand. They did discard some cards, but like we could win off the top of the deck. There is still a tomorrow's headline. In 15 minutes, and then we just need to make sure we have 5 credits when we access. That's the issue. Like we have to steal probably a Bologna. If we had the Mad Dash, we could steal off 15. Flashpoint rotates in December. End of an era? It doesn't rotate in December, Vic. Flashpoint rotates when Bell Tower comes out. The only thing that rotates is Startup loses Ashes. Flashpoint will be around until probably mid next year. Just need to intend to deep dive to ensure the sick rips. All right, we lost defenders. That tracks. Yeah, we lost our money. That tracks. Yeah, there's not rotations in standard until full set comes out. Ooh, that's spiteful. That 24-1, we're hanging on, huh? Okay. Do we have to clear a single tag? Single tag punishment, they played 1 planogram. Is there a word if or when Nisei would acquire the IP? I don't think they have interest in doing that. I don't think they need to do that either. I don't think that's been a discussion. This is where I consider scooping. No, I think we're fine. I think we're totally fine. Like, they're not doing anything fast. They have to install double advance in a remote server to win. And like their ice doesn't keep us out. Like we just run when they install double advance and then like hope it's not 15 minutes. We just need to get our money up. There are no other tag punishment for a single tag. So we could just float a single tag besides planogram. Yeah, I think Startup's going to have a huge change. They only have 1 credit, so they can't res anything. So we can do credit, dirty laundry archives. We have to watch out that we like make sure we play around economic warfare. If we see the economic warfare in here, we'll be fine. How did they tag us? We got a second hard hitting news. 15 minutes. The deep dive. All right, so they still have the economic in hand. So it's either we install the paperclip or we lose all our money. And by all our money is mean we go down to 1 credit. I'm going to install the paperclip. What are the differences between startup and standard? Why would we remove the tag cat? It'd be the planogram. I guess we know they have one. Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah, leaving the tag was better than the paperclip. You're totally right. You're totally yeah, if we don't have a tag, we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, that's fine. We don't want to show we have paperclip either. John, Startup is only null signal cards. So it's just Ashes, System Update, System Gateway, and Borealis. It is the most accessible format because it's all the stuff that you can go online and get printed right now. Mind you, you can play proxies if you can't find the Fantasy Flight games. And Standard is the bigger card pool. It's like the last 4 years of Netrunner releases. So it goes all the way back to the Flashpoint cycle, which was released in like 2018, I think. So it's harder to find original cards. I think you're right though, Kat. We should have cleared the tag. At least that's the second planogram. Now we can't go full tag me to Turnpike. Economic Warfare doesn't take your credits. If you have less than 4, it doesn't take the credits. But if we clear the tag, yeah, we would be fine. Yes. No, totally. I think that's the whole thing we've been playing around this whole game that's cost us. We're a boat deck. Of course. I guess Startup is my de facto favorite. Yeah, if it's the one you have the cards for. But I think Standard is a much more interesting format. Let's just try and get the boat down. Yeah, you're totally right. We should have cleared the tag. It does 2 things. It lets us deal with IP block without having to break. No. Well, infinite money they'll have. If they do advance, okay, now we have to run it and have to have Bologna credits. Can we do it? Looking at our bin, we have 2 more overclocks in the list. Let me check real quick. 1 more overclock in the list. Not a good start. And we need to have 5 credits at the end of this scuffle. Now, if that's a border control, we have to run through this twice, which means we need 2 clicks, let alone we need 3-4 credits. So it's 4 credits, and then we need 5. Nah, we just lose unless we hit off R&D. But then we have to also have to have Bologna credits off of R&D. Bought a copy of the real cards, but got impatient and printed the copies off of cardstock. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, where do we think the agendas are? They did Ice HQ a turn sooner than we thought they would. So there could be something in HQ. Again, the problem is Bologna. So right now the server that we might have Bologna credits for is like, we'd have to hope this is IP block into Turnpike into Bologna or the tomorrow's headline. So in terms of agendas, say that's the Bologna, say this is the Bologna. So that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that means, well, we know the agenda suite. What are we doing? So in terms of the agendas left on the deck, there's one more Bologna and one more tomorrow's headline. There's literally 2 agendas left. There's 2 agendas left. Oh wait, there's only 14 cards. That kind of makes sense. Hey Gunny, I've been trying multiple game nights and I've never found anyone willing to play startup. That's really weird. It's like a wildly popular format. I think it might be the most popular. My real collection ends at Flashpoint. Oh, that's a bummer. So we have to hope to win the 2. We can go random HQ. We can go to the top of R&D. If we go R&D, we know there's a 100% chance that we don't have Bologna. If we know that this is an IP block, or sorry, a border control, which we'd have to run twice, we want to make sure we run not the last click. So if we do credit will be on 6. We lose 1 to turnpike. We lose 1 to border control, and then we run back. So we're never going to have Bologna credits. So I think it's not worrying about Bologna credits. I think it's more about making sure we have the most amount of accesses. So that would be ideally run R&D first, then run HQ. Right? Right? I think that's it. You break border control with smoke credit at least? Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Actually, no, that's a huge change. I forgot we had the smoke credit. One more minute. So if we have the smoke credit, we break border control for smoke. Then we lose this, we go down to 3. So I think if that's the case, we go credit, we run. Then we'll be on 5, 4. Oh no, that's not good. 6, we'll be on 6, 5. Yeah, we do credit, run R&D. We have to hope that this is a ping. If you're multi-running, is the McCurry the move? No, we need to have Bologna money, and this is very negative on credits. Right, like the turn we install this, we're down. Oh, that doesn't do jack. Oh, take a tag, sorry. And we'll take another tag. Now here they can draw cards. Now we feel silly for like clicking, but we need to. Startup is the most popular for our group as well. Only recently restarted in the same cases playing Netrunner. Yeah, there's a lot of people who got into Netrunner this year, specifically for things like, the attention that this game has gotten through the new release, let alone, what's it called? Like Tom Brewster and Shut Up and Sit Down. So I think it's really popular. Hey, Aiden, I'm late because my D&D session went long, but hope you're having a good week. I have. My roommate gave me COVID. Oh, I hope you're doing okay. 2 credits. They didn't draw. Hope you're feeling better, man. Is Netrunner growing? Do we think? Do we think? Yeah. Netrunner is definitely growing. After image, no. So we get 1 run here and 1 run on HQ, unless it's a border control on HQ, and then what can you do? $24-2. Let's go. Good game. Tooth and claw, huh? Should have gotten cards, yeah. We were straight scumming the whole game with your deck list on screen. Oh, so good. Oh, feels so good holding on. We made some mistakes. Thanks, y'all. We had to believe in ourselves. Oh, that was so good. I believe this deck can actually like just absolutely kick people on JNet Casual. I believe it. Yeah. This is the endurance one, which has fewer overclocks. Not that turn. I would have, yeah. But you hit the only 2 good cards with the Prisec, Mad Dash, and what's it called? Deep Dive. Kept me the paperclip. At least we kept the Rego with telework. Yeah, Prisec's cool. I think Prisec is actually kind of hard to deal with. Like 2 Prisecs in a server, like unless you're on misdirection, you're going to take tags. I guess there's an agenda in HQ. That's what they wanted. Let me ask, did you have an agenda in HQ? Yeah, so in terms of the agendas, if that has to be the Bologna, right? Well, it could be any agenda, but like Bologna is the most sense. So it looks like everything was unfortunately an R&D, which was fortunate for us. It definitely is in Vancouver. We have this benefit of Shucks. I know that like Shucks has such a good call to action too. It's like, go to Shucks. Also next week we'll see you at the bar. And so that's really easy. Yeah. Gotta dodge that one. Yeah. We played so bad against the economic war for that one turn and it cost us, right? Like we didn't click the 8. Thanks for the game. That's great. That was great. Hit your hand. All right. That's it for the stream. It's just midnight, so now I turn back into a pumpkin. Again, we said this before, we'll be streaming this Sunday playing some Eternal, not only here, but on Usangren SC on Twitch. So you want to give a subscriber follow to this channel on Twitch or YouTube. If you hit the bell, you get the notification when we're live. It'll be around 10 Eastern. Same for Usangren SC. Again, he just hit 1,000 subs. He's doing a contest to force him to play a certain deck. So you can vote in that. I think that's it. Again, we'll also be streaming the following weekend. Not that we won't be streaming on Thursday, but then we'll be doing the Nemec card set, which I'm really excited about too. I think you're entitled to a damn I'm good after a rip for the win. Thank you for the stream. Hey, Fatarian, of course. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Just tell them they should have drawn the cards. Yeah, you always do the one that you lose to. You always do the other one. 1 out of 7 versus 1 out of 7 versus 2, 9 plus 0, 5. The math checks out for not drawing. Oh, assuming we can run HQ. In theory, if they have like a border control on HQ, it changes the math because that means HQ is safe. In that case, I think you always draw. No, in that case, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's the fallacy we're falling for. If we're protecting R&D, drawing makes no difference on the safety of R&D, right? Because it's basically asking us, do you want to access the first card or the third card? They're equally likely to be an agenda. Drawing there has no difference besides the outcome you see after it. Their first and third card are equally likely to be agendas. We almost fell for it again, time and time again. Admittedly, though, if it is an agenda, it's safer in HQ. It's too late to start this. Thanks for watching. Always a pleasure to hang out with y'all on a Thursday night. Hopefully you're enjoying yourselves and the VOD. If not, we'll be back in a bit. Cheers.